Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. You have found the Gamer Social Club podcast, vidcast. You know the drill. My name is Nathan, aka One Hot Dragon, and I am joined by Lady V. Lady V, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you, Nathan?
I'm just phenomenal, and I am also joined by Commander Buck. Buck, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Nathan?
I'm just phenomenal.
And
I
am can get this running thing.
and Fraser, aka F Bomb, how are you today?
Mate, I am phenomenal. Thank you.
No, I am. That's my thing.
No. My name's Rod, and I like to party.
No, I like to party. Oh man, that's a great callback. That's like one of my favorite funny movies out there. Period.
Oh,
I could
good.
watch that over and
So
over
good.
and over again. I still like die from laughter every time he's like falling down the hill. For like 10 years. He just trips over a log and like 10 minutes later he's still falling. Oh
That
my
ride
gosh.
at the end. It's like everyone's just riding, and I can't even remember what song it is, but there's that song that's playing.
Yes.
It's so good. So
Gamer
good.
Social Club is a podcast based off of our website, Gamer Social Club, where you get all your news and reviews and all that good stuff. And today we're here to talk about whatever we feel like talking about. I know I've got like 2 weeks of built up game time and reviews and things to talk about. So I got plenty. I know we were wanting to try to get into talking about the backlog that we would like to tackle, or well, aka not really being able to get to anything during the summer because there's so many games. So lots to talk about. I'm excited to get into it. I've missed you guys, and I'm so glad to have Buck here. Dude, last time we had you on, everybody like heard so much feedback. Like I hardly get any feedback about this podcast except for everybody fucking loved having you on. So I'm like, hey, there we go. Now that's one thing we're doing right.
Yeah. Well, before we get started, it's going to be like Fraser's question corner. That's going to be my little thing that I like to do.
Corner.
Fraser's question corner.
All right, we need a jingle. Who's on the jingles? Like,
Right?
who's got a Casio keyboard available?
Oh,
You
I
can do a
got my
jingle for
little-
Fraser's question code.
Yeah. Something like that.
He's
So
on it. He's on it.
I had a massive like what the fuck gaming moment when I was playing through Jedi Survivor. Like there was like this massive twist that just it shook my world. Do you
Rick,
guys
the door
have...
technician.
Sorry?
Yeah, I understand. Rick, the door technician. Yeah.
Yep, that was the door opened and he was standing there, and I was just like, who is this? And why is his health bar so big?
I forgot about him. Yeah.
And then you just like So do you guys have like a standout like twist that you didn't see coming in any sort of game? So like for me, my biggest one has to be BioShock. Like when you're playing through BioShock this whole time, and then you get to the end, and he's like, just like, you're the bad guy now. Like I've been telling you what to do this whole time, and I was
Man
just like,
chooses a slave obeys. Like,
right? And I was just like, wait, what? You mean what?
would you kindly
Yeah.
pick up that golf club, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, now when people say, would you kindly, I kind of look at them like, would you kindly what?
Yeah,
What do you
no. I
It's like
would
an
not
immediate,
kindly.
like, what? Like, I do the
I'm
story,
deliberately not doing that.
story,
Then.
like,
I know what you do.
it's like, what do you mean?
Would
But,
I kindly?
Yeah, wait a minute.
So yeah, so does anyone have any like stand out like what the fuck moments? Man, put you on the spot.
Maybe.
I have one.
Okay, you go first then.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I have one, but I feel like every time I'm on the podcast, I take up quite a lot of time just rambling like an idiot.
Oh no, go for it.
Now go for it.
No, mine is from my favorite game of all time, Knights of the Old Republic. When you find out that you are Darth Revan, I remember literally just putting my controller down on the floor, being like, "I'm sorry, what?"
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Wait, what? Like, I still to this day think it's one of the best twists in video games of all time. Just that flashback that Bastila has, and it's your character there as Revan, and I was like, shit, that's me. And then
Yeah.
immediately afterwards going, damn, I'm such a badass. The entire thought process of that entire thing. I think at the same time I was like, I should have been doing a dark side run. Like,
Yeah, why
like,
am I?
made me want to
Why am
immediately
I a good
restart the
person?
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, why am I trying so hard when I was clearly so good at being so bad?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's mine. A 10 out of 10.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's a
Um,
brilliant one.
yeah.
Did you? I love when they do those flashbacks and you've got some sort of custom character with like a stupid hat on, and and it flashes back and it's showing you this like cutscene and you've got this hat on and it's
You like goofy
It's
as
a-
hell. A serious game, and you're goofy as hell. You're just like, oh, we just murdered the whole population. Let me spin my clown hat real quick.
I think in Knights of the Old Republic they had it so it was just your default character's face. Because I spent the entire time in that game with like the most ridiculous looking visor of all time.
Oh, but,
And they were like they thought about it. They were ahead of their time. This is like 2004, maybe, I think, Knights of the Old Republic. And they were like, nah, we're not undercutting this twist with you being there looking like what's his name? Oh, the guy from Star Trek. With the visor.
Dang it.
Oh,
I don't watch Star Trek.
oh, we're gonna get roasted.
Commander Shatner.
Why did
Is it
No.
Jordy?
Wouldn't have a
No.
clue, me.
Oh man, that's my dude too. Oh man.
RoboCop.
Well,
Dang,
yeah,
I'm
also
gonna-
a little bit
Yeah,
looking
we're
like
gonna blast it for this one.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm
it's
just,
like they
when
were
we
like,
post
we're
this
not
episode,
having
remind me to post a
What
gift
we'll
of,
do is-
man, I'm getting
yeah.
cooked.
Yeah, it's Jordy LaForge, right?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm so lost.
I'm sure it is, but yeah, they're like
They're in the
they're like
headlights right now.
Yeah.
they're like having you here looking like LaForge or the engineering.
You're telling the
or
story,
head
mate.
engineer
Just
from
roll
Star
with it.
Trek.
Yeah.
No, I'm almost certain it's Jordy LaForge, and if it's not, then I am happy to get cooked in the comments.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, BioWare were like, nah, we're not having you looking like this. Like this is a serious moment. This is a serious twist, and you will take it seriously.
Love it.
Yeah, Fraser shared his screenshot during a death scene. He had the mullet and the mustache. That was pretty funny. That's awesome. Buck, do you have yours ready?
I do. Funny enough, I think you both of you guys have said like two that are like definitely probably my one and two. Because like I said, like I couldn't trust anybody said, would you kindly after that. It was just instant like, hey, this guy's suspect. Like I don't know. So interestingly enough, the two that I can think of right now that probably outside of those two impacted me the most, both are like, one's very recent and one's a slight spoiler if you don't follow the series. One being like Gears in the whole Dom storyline,
Oh my god.
like from beginning
That
to
was
end.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah, because when that ended, I had to like I turned my Xbox off. I walked
Yeah.
outside. My brother's like, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Dude,
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it for you, but like I had to go. It was like I'm at the verge of tears. Like I'm just like it was just like I like in my TV. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
it was bad. The other one, and I think because I love sci-fi and I kind of love movies that fuck with your head, like, and
Yep.
you
Yeah.
really can't
Yeah.
understand reality. Um, Starfield and its ending and going into the new game plus, and I'm like, yo, this is wild. And like, if you go into another game, things change, and you go into another game and things change again. You're just like, what the hell is going on in here? Like, it is it is so amazing. If you haven't played that game, I don't know if it's for everybody. I'm a huge Bethesda nerd. I've played
Yeah.
almost everything they've released,
Yeah.
and like I love space, like something incredible. Like when Interstellar came out, it was like one of my favorite movies. Like I watched that movie like at least 5 times,
Yeah.
and every time like that scene comes up and it starts fucking with your head, you're just like, holy shit, like this is crazy. And it gave me those type of vibes. So I know I say kind of two, but I felt like those two are like definitely the ones that like maybe like questioned everything.
Yeah, that
I think
Dom
I
one
think
was
that's fair.
massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I read, I've not done a lot of New Game Plus in Starfield because my Bethesda head is like, obviously this is the first game almost they've ever done New Game Plus in, so I was just like, oh
Yeah.
no, really, I don't. But there was an article and someone did like New Game Plus, like was it 34 times, and then they met themselves, and
Yeah,
I was
every
like,
character was themselves.
yeah,
Like
and I was like, oh my god, like this is
that's
like I'm
so
gonna spend
insane.
7,000 hours in this game whenever Dano lets me have the time to play anything.
Right. Oh, you're not
You gotta
doing
tell them
anything.
I'm tired, boss.
I saw on Discord that you were not playing this game.
I haven't finished Starfield yet. I love it. It's such an incredible, beautiful game. I got stuck building settlements and building outposts, and then all of a sudden I'd played it for 40 hours and I hadn't even like done anything. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a break from this, play some other stuff, and then I'm going to come back and I'm just going to hammer through the storyline. So I'm going to try and do that before the end of this year, but who knows?
It's
Good
crazy.
luck.
Well, Dano also has to give you time, also. Like,
See, yeah, me and Fraser had like the exact same experience with Starfield. Like, we just got so lost in like the construction and building bases that
so good.
yeah, we just kind of lost track of time. 150 hours in, and it's like I don't know where to go from there.
The settle or the outpost building, I was hoping. I haven't played it for ages, but you know how you can only link a few together?
Yes.
I was hoping that like you could have like a massive hub somewhere and everything could go to there. But you can only have, is it a total of 3 like
I think
trade
so, yeah.
routes?
Yeah.
And I was like getting at that, and then I was like, fuck, I need aluminium now, so I'd have to run off and get that, and then it's like, all right, I'm spiraling here. Let's just take a break.
Yeah.
That's
It's
smuggling
one
is
game
fun.
that I just had to simply walk away from and be like, I've got so much time into this. I mean, the game that I played the most last year was Diablo 4. I think I put like 180, 200, somewhere in there, like as far as hours go. And then I put 150 into Starfield, and I like maybe got a quarter into the campaign. And I had like one side mission to still go through. So like, I just have so much left to do. I really want to get into the DLC. Like, I want to be done with the campaign before I get into the DLC.
Yeah,
But
so do I.
I had the ending of the campaign spoiled for me like immediately. Like, so that one was not a. I kind of knew what was coming. I don't know all the details. I don't know like exactly how it happens. I just know that the results and that you could. Never mind. I'm not going to spoil it for everybody else. But yeah, it's kind of a bummer.
I didn't even get to the point where I could use magic yet. Like that's how far into it I got. I haven't even.
You
I've
were
got
just
one
like
ability.
that planet there.
I've got
I'm
one
gonna
ability
mine
after
that
150
planet.
hours. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some of the abilities are so fun. I'm so excited for you both to go back.
Yeah,
because
I'm excited too. But when I find
some
the
of the
time,
side quests, I think, like obviously main quests aren't necessarily Bethesda's forte, and a lot of the times, but I do think it's potentially their best main quest line.
Right.
Out of any Bethesda games that I've played. But like the side quests, some of the side quests are, I put them above like some the side quests that you would maybe find in like Oblivion.
Yeah.
Or Morrowind. Like some of those side quests are fantastic. People just seem to get so bogged down in, oh, it's not No Man's Sky. You can't immediately take off from a planet. I was like, was anyone expecting this?
Yeah.
I played Skyrim. There's like 17 different loading screens
Yeah.
before I get out of a barrel. Like, I wasn't. That's not what I was looking for from a Bethesda game. What I was looking for was those weird little side quests. You go off into a random planet and you find a cave, and then you find a side quest in the cave, and then 20 hours later, you're halfway across the galaxy, and you're like, wait, what was I doing? Like, what?
What's my main objective here? I have no idea.
Yeah, absolutely. God, I miss that. I miss that so much. I remember, I think it was Skyrim. There was a side quest where you're just wandering through the forest, and you come across this little house, and there's a lady, and her potatoes have been stolen, and so you have to like venture off to find her potatoes, and then there's like werewolves and like all sorts of shit happens, and you're just like, this is awesome.
My brain is blanking on that, and I know well, I think I've done every side quest in Skyrim. I've got like 3,000 hours in Skyrim. Like, but no, my favorite Skyrim one is just the one where you're like, a guy's like, oh, do you want to do a drinking contest? I'm like, you know, I'm from Glasgow, so I'm like, yeah, obviously. Like, and then you just wake up at the other side of the map, in a church, and they're like, you're an absolute reprobate, and I'm like, that is correct, but also, how the fuck did I get in Mark? What the fuck is going on here? And then you go outside, someone's just getting stabbed in the street, and I'm like, damn, this is Glasgow Simulator. Like,
I'm home.
Man, that makes me think of Red Dead Redemption 2's drinking scene and the Witcher. Is it the Witcher where you gotta like outdrink somebody? Or is that, am I thinking of Fable? I swear, I remember like there being a game, and I think it's arm wrestling in Witcher. Maybe it's Fable.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Does nobody know what I'm talking about?
I got like I've got 2 hours into The Witcher 3 like 3 times.
Okay.
Every single time I've tried to get into that game, it's caught me at the wrong time, and I've just bounced off it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Again, feel free in the comments to call me a fake gamer.
Nah,
I'm not alone.
CD Projekt.
I got like 3 or 4 hours in, and I don't know. One day I'll get to it.
We'll do like a joint stream of us both hyping each other up. Like, no, you can do it. Get past this clunky combat. You can do it. Apparently, the side quests are amazing.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, CD Projekt Red, fuck, they can make a side quest.
They do side quests the best.
Oh my god! Like, I haven't started the DLC for Cyberpunk yet, but the vanilla game, some of the side quests in there are just insane. They're so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, in
Yeah.
your guys'
Love-
defense, when it comes to not getting to The Witcher 3 yet, it's such a commitment. You know, it's that thing
yeah.
of like, it's such a large game, and you've heard so many great things about it, so you want to be able to give it the time and appreciation that everybody tells you should give it. So then it's always that thing of, whenever you go to sit down and play it, you're just like, oh, I need to block out the next 90 hours of my life for this, or else I'm never going to fully appreciate it. And then it just never happens, because that's who has time for that anymore? You kind of got to like let it sneak up on you, you know, how most games get. Like Dead Island 2, that snuck up on me. Like, I went into that with just like, I'm going to knock this game out before I get into Baldur's Gate 3. And then it ended up just being like, oh my gosh, this game is phenomenal. I was not expecting this to be so good. I was so excited for Dying Light 2. Actually, that's a great comparison, because Dying Light 2 was the game for me that I'm like, this is going to be phenomenal. It's going to be off the wall for me. It's funny because you can wall run. Ha ha ha. And, but I was just so excited for it. And after playing Dead Island 2, I was like, man, this game just really didn't hit for me.
Yeah.
It was such a bummer. I was excited for it, but I mean, Dead Island 2 just felt so good as far as the melee combat goes that I just wasn't as interested in the parkour anymore from Dying Light 2, because I didn't feel like the parkour did enough to make it worthy of like, oh, this is a totally new separate experience to be had apart from the first one. It just felt like an extension, which is fine. I mean, it's a sequel. You're allowed to be that. It's not. You don't need to be revolutionary every time you make a sequel. So it's okay if you just make more. It just, like I said, just didn't hit for me, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with that.
Really?
That, because those.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about that game, and I feel like I should have loved Dying Light 2. I bought it. I played like 10 hours of it, and it just got to a point where I was like, I can't. Dead Island, on the other hand, bought it, set in my backlog. It came to Game Pass, and I was like, all right, well, let me just try some of this on the cloud. And I started playing it, and I was like, oh, this is really good. This is really, really good. And I downloaded it, finished the main story, ended up buying the DLC. I'm working through the DLC now. It's incredible how that happens.
And the DLC is fun too. Is it just me, or did the game give you the vibe you didn't realize you were missing from Dead Rising? Like that feeling of this is fun and lighthearted, but also I'm enthralled with how fucked up this is.
Yeah. That DLC was so good.
I just accidentally got really hyped for Dead Rising Remaster. Like, let's go.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm the same with what was the other one we were just talking about?
Dying Light 2.
Dying Light.
Yeah.
I got to that first main hub city, did a few quests on that, and I was like, this is not what I want right now.
Yeah.
I'm not someone who likes like time limit stuff. So, when I get really like stressed out and amped up about it, and it I know that that's how it's supposed to make you feel. You're supposed to feel anxious and but I just don't like it. I don't play games to feel like that. And so like when you have to go down into the dark areas and you've got this time limit of how long you can be down there, and I'm just like, and I'm not getting the most out of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just fell off hard. But I wanted to enjoy it because the first one was loads of fun.
So good.
First one was awesome.
Yeah.
And this
I
one
played
was
the
supposed to
first one
be.
in. Oh, sorry, there you go.
No,
You good?
No, I was going. I played the first one on co-op with a friend, so we got like the second one to play on co-op, and even in co-op it wasn't that fun. I've not played Dead Island 2 yet. I was supposed to play it with a friend when it came out, and then we just never got around to it. But
it's very good.
Yeah,
I would
Dying
say
Light
if you
2
want to
was
play Dying Light,
disappointing.
if you're slightly interested into it, I would play that first. Because if you play Dead Island 2, the co-op is better. The game feels better. the system that they came up for dismemberment in that game, which is going to sound super crazy.
Oh no, I'm
it's
up for
so
that.
good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I think that sounds like another gamer social club co-op.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
love to.
I'm
need-
down.
But I
I'm
still
down
got
for some
DLC
more.
to get through.
That would be awesome.
haven't
Yeah,
played
I
the
mean,
last one.
realistically, we're supposed to be recording a podcast, but we could all just fire up our Xboxes right now.
Stop
Like,
recording.
we just
Yeah.
make this like post stream.
And that's a wrap on this week.
Everybody who's been listening for the full 2 hours every week sees the 25-minute mark. Fuck. I was,
It's like, what happened?
Lady just derailed the conversation again. Who keeps
Yeah.
inviting her back?
Oh man.
Oh,
So
God.
do you think that I don't want to steer too far away from Fraser's question because I'll answer the question, Fraser. I've been thinking about it, but do you guys think
we
that
only
maybe
just getting to you, Nathan. Holy shit.
I know, right? Do you think that Dead Island? Sorry, not Dead Island. Dying Light 1. The Dying Light 1.
Yeah.
Do you think that it was the time that it hit that made it so successful? Like, was it as good as we remembered it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because Dying Light 1 came out, I think, year 1 of Xbox One. And we were waiting for new releases for the new consoles. We were waiting for that new generation experience. And it fell right during the summer lull of no games. And I think it was like June that it dropped. There was nothing else coming out that month. I remember it because of that. And I think we were all just able to get enthralled in it. And there was no competition. So maybe, I guess my question, let me better phrase my question. Was Dying Light so good because that's what we played at that time and we were all focused on it and we had a good time with it and surprised us, and then we expected it to be so much more in the second time around, but really the second was just more of and didn't add enough to really, like, I guess, take it to that next level?
Was it the first time
We lost video,
that
Buck.
Yeah, hold on one second. I'm
Okay.
trying to fix my camera.
was it the first time that we had first-person melee, like proper? Because I know we had first-person melee in like Oblivion, and we had it in Skyrim and that kind of stuff. But like, really good new-gen first-person melee with the movement.
I feel like it was
that
the
first-person
parkour.
parkour was wild. It was like nothing I'd ever experienced before.
Because
The parkour is very similar to like a Mirror's Edge.
Mirror's Edge. Yeah.
I will say I first played Dying Light 1 in 2020. I didn't play it during that summer game lull. Like I played it on Steam in 2020. So I've probably got a slightly different experience of it than you guys. But
right.
Yeah.
I
the
mean,
parkour felt very Mirror's Edge to me.
yeah,
Yes,
that's
yes,
true. I maybe it's just the fact that because it's been a really, really long time since I played the original Dead Island, so it's hard to say if Dead Island 1 and 2 was on par with Dying Light at the time.
No, Dead Island 1 was bad. It was
It
a
was
bad
bad?
game.
So
Okay.
I played
I
Dead
enjoyed
Island
it, but it
1
was bad.
Okay.
maybe 6 months ago.
Okay.
And there is when you run, the camera goes like this to mimic
I
running,
hate that.
Yeah.
and it made me feel just
Yeah.
physically ill.
I
and
know
I
what you're
couldn't-
talking
Oh, and
The
like
Tomb Raider reboot does that, and it's
Oh,
literally the worst thing in the world. I'm like, why
Yeah.
you doing this?
yeah,
Like,
like
I don't.
so-
I'm not playing in VR. You don't need to mimic that for me. I know I'm on the couch. Could you not?
yeah. But again, like for its time, that first one was incredible. Like I had loads of fun with it. But again, like was it just because that was good for the time?
Yeah.
Like obviously it's not good now because we've got so much else and they've made some weird decisions like the running.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It was weird.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. What are there any more thoughts on the Dying Light thing, or should I move on to what my
So we
So
just
tell us
wanted
your
to
twist. Oh,
add like a little bit to like it kind of like makes this subject kind of weird because the funny thing about it is Dead Island 2 got stuck in development hell for almost 10 years.
yeah. Don't think anybody expected much from
So
it after that.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hilarious that one had a smoother development but wasn't a better game than the other one that was absolutely rebooted at least twice,
Mm-hmm.
and it might have been 3 times.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, continue. I just wanted to add that in.
It's the only thing that gives me some kind of faith in Evil. What's that game that's been in development hell since like 2011? Beyond Good and Evil.
Oh, Beyond
Yeah,
Good and Evil.
it's,
Yeah.
it's the only thing that gives
Yeah.
some kind of faith for that game.
I would have.
I'm glad you still have faith.
Yeah.
In development hell, if it wasn't in development hell by Ubisoft. I mean, I know Fraser likes it, but we also bought Skull and Bones. We also what happened there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Well,
I can have faith in things in development hell, but do I also have faith in Ubisoft?
yeah, that's a good question.
Like-
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, Fraser, I think probably I don't know if this is a boring answer, but it probably Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that comes to mind, and I can't really
Yeah.
think of a better answer. I'm sure like later when I'm re-listening to this in my truck, I'm gonna think of something and hit myself. But like,
No, that one's massive, dude.
yeah,
That's
it was
massive
just
No,
such a
that's an
big
excellent
deal.
one.
It was such
Yeah.
a big deal to be like, oh shit, like I'm not going to spoil anything, but like so and so was about to get shot, and you're just like, oh my gosh, did they die? And it was such a end of television show season cliffhanger. And then
Yeah.
you start playing as a completely different protagonist that you hate, and you're like, what the fuck is this? I don't want to be here. I don't want to play as
Yeah.
you. I don't want any of this. And then for it to turn you around on that character and really drive home the point of revenge is a cycle and the cycle of violence and all this stuff. Like, my gosh, what a fucking masterpiece Last of
Yeah.
Us Part 2 is.
Too long though. It was too fucking long for me.
Really?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
just
like-
never wanted it to end. I was
Yeah.
so
I-
lost in that game.
So did I. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But I think there were 2 points where I was like, "You mean this isn't the end? There's more."
Yeah, that is a
And-
good point.
and
No, you
then-
need to know that revenge is a cycle. We have to go through the cycle again.
True. Think about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
No, fucking great answer, Nathan. That's a great answer. I guess it's one that gets looked over because it is such a huge one.
Right,
Why am I playing as someone that I hate?
right.
And
Yeah.
you do hate them.
Yep.
At that point, you're like, I hate this.
Mhm. I mean, I dare anybody to give me a better example of what could teach me a lesson about forgiveness. You know what I mean? Like, show me a movie that does it better. Because there's nothing like putting yourself into the shoes of the person that you hate and then being like, I understand now. Like, people who struggle with empathy need to play that game.
People that struggle with empathy are the ones that are always bitching about on Twitter.
You
so-
know what? You know what? Yep. There you go. You got it.
Yep.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to say, I've got to like come out. Like, I've not actually played The Last of Us Part 2. I only got my PS5 later on last year. But I think that's the beauty of video games, is the fact that it can do things that films and TV can't do. Like, you can be turned around on a film character, you can be turned around on a TV character because you empathize with them. But if you play as that character, you don't just empathize, you sympathize. Like, you know exactly what they're feeling, or vice versa. Yeah, like it's the medium in itself allows for such more powerful storytelling in
Yeah.
those instances.
Yeah.
That does concern me as far as the season 2 goes. I mean, the show is phenomenal so far, and I think it really builds off of things that the first game couldn't do. I feel like it's going to have the opposite problem in the second season because, like I said, the people that I talked to who did not like part 2, I feel like their complaints are just like, I mean, I've got a friend who I disagree with her on her opinions on Last of Us Part 2. She really, really, really hates it. And she watched somebody stream it. And I'm like, you gotta be holding the controller. And in that, like, because that's how it hits so hard for me. Because there's this moment, there's also this other moment where man, the thing that, oh man, I got myself going on this game. So the thing about that game is like through every mission.
It's been old. It's old enough now. You can spoil it. Like,
Well,
Yeah, you can go ahead.
all right. Spoilers for Last of Us Part 2. But there's this moment where you are constantly chasing people, and you're kind of getting revenge on the fact that so and so died. Do you know? Are you aware who dies in the game? All right, so yeah.
I've not played it, but
Okay.
like I spend
have
at least
been
17
alive.
hours a day. on
Okay,
it.
okay, all right, yeah. I mean, it got spoiled before the game even came out. So, so like you're going after and getting revenge over Joel's death, right? And so you're trying to kill everybody who was involved in his death. And with every person you chase down in every mission, you're just like, I'm gonna fucking kill this person. Like, you're just so angry. And like, it does such a good job of building up that angst and having that moment of revenge. And like, this feels so good. I finally caught you, fucker. And then, then there's this moment where you're chasing this person and like you end up like killing this dog, and it's like this really intense moment of like, oh my gosh, like I had to kill a dog. And then like in the second part of the game you grow a relationship with that dog, and you have to watch it die. So it's really fucked up. But like, there's this moment where it's somebody you go after, you got so much anger, you're like, finally I got that bitch, and then turns out like she's pregnant. And you're like, oh shit. Like that moment was, I still am traumatized from that moment. Like that was so messed up. And then it's things like that I do understand the complaint of the game tried to do too much shock factor. I understand that opinion. 'Cause I mean, there was a lot of shock. About mission to mission there was a lot of shock, so I do get that. But
and that second time when you take back over as Ellie, and she like gives up everything to go back and do it, and you're just like, why? You've done it, you've finished, everything's done, but she just can't let it go.
Yep.
And then you go all the way back there, and it's just like it feels pointless.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's just so strong.
Yep.
And then it's such a good game. Such a good game.
Did you play the
Heavy
game,
days.
Bucks?
Oh, I feel like I'm gonna have to go play now. Like,
Yeah, you should. Yeah.
I'm about
amazing.
like I'm about like 25% in.
Okay.
Like I've played it when I got my PS5. Started playing it because I got it for like $5. This is before the remaster came out.
Yeah.
So I ended up like paying $5 and getting it, and I was like, oh, well, hey, might as well try it out. It was pretty cool. Like I like the first one, and I think like for me the first one was like I played it once and I was good. Like I'm totally fine. So I was playing through this one the same kind of way, like, and I don't know, I just got stuck on other stuff.
Yeah, no, I understand. I will say, in my personal opinion, and it might be a little bit of a hot take, but second one's my favorite by far.
Yeah.
I can see that.
So, I would like to also, 40 minutes in, get started with. I want to hear how you all are doing. Because every time I go back through and listen to our episodes, because I like to try to see like what we could do differently, how I could talk differently, things of that nature. Like I'm trying really, really hard to work on a couple things in my own speech. I'm not going to point them out because if nobody's noticed, I'm not pointing them out. But there's a couple things like I'm trying to work on. But one of the things that I want to hear more about your guys' personal lives, if you feel like sharing. But Fraser, because also not only that, but like let's see, it's been a solid. The past couple times we've recorded, I personally like had to jump off immediately afterwards. And before we get in, I'm basically trying to set everything up, and I'm in a hurry to put everybody in their boxes and all this stuff on OBS. So I never really get a chance to talk to you guys and see how you guys are doing. But so it's legit been like a couple weeks since I've actually gotten to check in with any of you. But Fraser, how is your back
Last
doing?
week you had to throw something over your camera.
Yeah,
while
yeah.
we kept talking about.
Yeah. I hopped back down and I was like waiting for my opportunity to like chime in or like say something like I gotta go, and then like I ended up putting a cover over my camera, and I told my wife, I'm like, hey, could you just come check on this every so often and hit stop record whenever everybody's gone? And she's like, yeah, they were on.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Honestly, and you know what sucks is I still like I had to pause right at the moment that I left. So I still haven't even heard, because right when Fraser starts talking about his game, so I still haven't even heard that part of the show. So
Yeah.
But no, I wanted to ask you about your back and how your back's doing.
Oh, dude, I am making some I've had an amazing week. 4 weeks ago, I couldn't even really put my own shoes on.
Yeah.
Because it was so bad. I have been doing like rehabilitation like almost every day, and I'm now currently lifting 15 kilos,
Okay.
which
That's amazing.
doesn't seem a lot, but when you think
No, it's
4 weeks
amazing.
Yeah, 4 weeks ago I couldn't even fucking lift a bag of shopping. So it's been a rough rocky road. There's been some really really dark times during it, where I'm just like, is this it? Am I never going to be able to sit down again? Am I not going to be able to continue on with my job? But no, I'm starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel, and it feels incredible.
Good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So yeah, just every day, every week, I'm just like pushing myself to do more and more and more. And yeah,
that's awesome.
That's amazing.
thank you.
How much longer?
So happy to hear that. Also.
Do you? How much longer do you foresee doing physical therapy?
Dude, I couldn't tell you.
It's just kind of week by week basis.
Yeah. Yep, that's right. Part of my job is very physical. Like you don't think about coffee being a physical job, but like we send like between 5 and 6 tons of coffee out the door every week, and that's all done by hand. So you think there's a team of 7 of us, that's a ton each that we're lifting both into the roaster and then out. So you kind of double that. So there's definitely tasks that I just don't think I'll ever be able to do again.
Yeah.
Like lifting a 75 kilo or 70 kilo sack of coffee. It's not like it's a solid object that you can pick up. It's like a pillowcase filled with sand.
Yeah.
And you're kind of trying to fiddle around with that. So like I don't see myself ever doing that again. But other tasks of like I'm starting to do them more. Like I've got time constraints with my rehabilitation that like I'm only allowed to do certain tasks for like half an hour or half a dozen times for the day.
Right.
And every week they're just increasing a little bit more. So like I'm definitely going to be able to get back to kind of, I reckon, 90%. Time-wise, couldn't tell you. I'm still not even back full-time yet. I'm working 4 days a week for 7 hours a day. I'm going away for 2 weeks at the end of August. and then when I come back, we'll be introducing that 5th day to see if I can do it.
Okay.
It's a fatigue thing, like, because being at home, you find you're sitting down, you go for a walk, you make a cup of tea or whatever, but then when I go to work, it's just constant walking, lifting, twisting, bending, lifting, walking, standing at a computer for 10 minutes, fucking tapping away at some stuff, walking over here, putting this over there, and and the tighter I get, the sorer I get, because like my core's not engaged and all my muscles are weak, and I just get tired, and then my form starts to go, and then so it's fucking brutal.
Man.
Don't hurt your back, guys. It's not worth it.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, it is not worth it. So yeah, it was February the 7th, I think, was when I hurt it.
Oh.
So it's been a hot minute.
So where are you going for 2 weeks? Like, are you in August? Are you going on vacation?
I'm going to Vietnam.
Oh, okay, cool.
Ah, amazing.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So it's winter here. It's pretty chilly.
Yeah.
So it's my birthday.
Is it chilly
again.
though? Is it chilly? Please,
It's-
come on. Like...
For me, it's chilly. For you, it's summer. So yeah.
What
so
temperature is it? You need to tell me what
Um,
temperature it is.
What is the temperature right now? It's actually it's starting to warm up now. It's 11 degrees. So
Not even remotely chilly. Like, what is it?
I'm in a t-shirt. I'm wearing shorts. It's,
Because it's summer. You're in summer weather.
Yep.
Like,
yeah.
What's what's in Vietnam?
Sunshine,
It's just
cocktails, the beach.
Yeah.
great food.
Yeah.
Oh my
Great
god, you're gonna
food.
eat so
Yeah.
much good
Yeah.
food.
Yeah. So
I-
yeah, we're
The
staying
Gamer
on.
Social Club
Yeah.
Discord to be just absolutely packed,
Yeah.
full of
What?
pictures of food.
I'm gonna
If it's
see
not, I'm
if I
gonna
can
be displeased.
see if I can dial into the podcast from location.
Yeah, that would actually be really sick. I would love that.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Like just the sunshine behind me, like fucking people playing in the sea.
Well, it's kind of like when,
just eating a massive bowl of pho, and like everyone's just jealous. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's
Yeah.
kind of like when
Yeah.
Lady V was on vacation. It was like every day. Sorry,
Yeah.
can't write this. I'm in the pub. It's just like, oh,
Sorry.
oh, dude.
Yeah.
I managed to get a preview up when I was on holiday. My dad was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm writing a preview for the website," and he was like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "No, I write a preview for the website. The embargo is like today," and he was just like, "All right, I'll meet
You
you
kids
guys in
and
the
your
bar."
technology.
No,
If you're
to
not
be fair,
talking Command and
my
Conquer,
dad-
he don't want to talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He is the guy that got me into games. So he was like, "Oh, like so, if you got that embargo done?" He was on me.
Oh yeah.
You told me you got an embargo.
Hey, we're on holiday, but you've got a job to do.
Yeah, like, yeah. It's like
But you gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
like Dana was like, "Oh no, you're on holiday." My dad was like, "You said you'd get this done. You get it
Yep.
done."
Yep.
I'm
That's
like,
right.
Yep.
Yeah. So
That's like
staying
you're
in
on holiday. Your dad's like, no, you're not.
No.
No.
Holiday starts
You-
when that
You said like
Holiday
is
starts
like,
when
you
you
know-
finish.
it's like this is the McGowan family motto. You started it. You go and
Yeah.
do it.
You're gonna do it. Yeah. Good motto.
I didn't.
So,
I,
yeah.
didn't I didn't raise no quitter. Like, it's like you get that shit done.
Oh. See, we're staying in at like a beachfront resort for a couple of weeks. It's gonna be really nice. I'm just gonna just bathe in the sunshine, rest my aching bones.
Yeah.
It's gonna be lovely.
See, I'd like to go ahead and put the call out to anybody who is hacker or has experience in hacking airlines specifically. That way I can hack into an airline and change ticket locations from Vietnam to Ohio.
Just get off the plane
Fraser's
in my
just
little
like,
shorts and be like, what?
why is there so much corn in Vietnam?
no cows here. Come on.
Like Nathan turned off at the airport and Fraser just come off like budgie smugglers. Like, the fuck is going on?
What? Where's? I'm here for the sea.
Where's the beach?
We have some ponds, okay? The best I can do is ponds and corn, all right?
Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
No.
Um,
Once
and-
we manage to get any money involved off of like the podcast or the website, we just have to organize a gamer social club meetup. Like,
Oh.
where's the closest central point
Yep.
that we
Yeah.
can all get a flight to, and then we can all go there, and it'll be like literally the arse end of nowhere, and
Yep.
we'll
Yeah.
just find a random bar and just have the best time. Like, everyone bring
Right.
your Nintendo Switches. It's the
Right.
Mario Kart tournament. Like,
Yeah. Oh,
Like-
that'd be amazing.
For real though, you bring up a good point. Like, in my mind, we will have made it when we have that day, right? When we're like at
That's right.
E3 or we're at like Summer Games Fest or Game of the Year
Yeah.
Awards or something like that.
We've all
and
got
we're
our
all
pass badges
Yeah.
on.
right. Yep. Then
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh.
we
when
will
we've
have
all
made it.
turned up at Dano's house in Canada and
Yep.
just be
Yeah.
like, hey.
Yeah.
But you know, it's already heading in that direction. I mean, Dano's gonna be at shoot, what's it? In Canada. Shoot, he got
Yeah, he's
passes.
going to a games conference
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
yeah,
next week.
which is
That's
insane.
incredible.
Like,
Yeah.
already.
That's insane.
And
Yeah.
then
Nah, I think we'll all be at Summer Games Fest next year. I'm
I hope
already
so.
like I've already told my boss
Need
I might
time
not
off.
be available in June because I
Yeah.
might have to go to San Francisco to go to Summer Games Fest for my
Oh,
side
what a-
hustle. Like, you know,
What a
like,
shame.
that's
What a shame.
like
I've been thinking the exact same thing. Not even kidding. Like I'm like, man, I need to kind of try to figure out how much money it's going to take for me to set aside weekly so I can be prepared for something like that. Because I don't want it to
Yeah.
come out of
What we
nowhere and be
need
like,
is
oh
more
shoot, I
YouTube
can't
shorts.
go. Like I want to be ready for that opportunity when it pops up.
like I've got gameplay recordings for my next review. We're just going to start pumping out those YouTube shorts.
Yeah.
We're gonna fund everyone's trip to
Oh, man.
Summer Games Fest.
With
Right.
YouTube
Like,
shorts.
Right. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
But-
I have
strip is
no
brought to you
idea
by
how
YouTube
monetization
shorts.
on YouTube works, and I don't think that anyone can tell.
Yeah,
Like,
I've still got a
YouTube knows
lot
how
to learn about it too.
monetization works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I got monetized in December, I think it was.
really?
On my
oh,
YouTube
so what Fraser
channel.
said, he's going to pay for us all to go.
It's my
Yeah,
it's gonna be my
That's what he's
shout.
saying.
Oh, yeah. Just pulling in that Mr. Beast money. Like,
Yeah.
He's adding
I said
Vietnam, then
that
Ohio,
too.
then San.
Vietnam Beach.
Yeah, right after that.
yeah. Yeah.
Just gonna keep going.
Just
Just
gonna
keep
keep going.
Disappear into the sunset. Yeah.
Then Commander Buck, I would like to get to know you better. So I know you've mentioned you've got kids and stuff. So how many kids we got there?
3, and this is gonna make me sound really old, but one will be 27 in like 2 weeks.
Okay.
One is 21, and then the baby's 15.
Okay.
15 and a half.
15 and a half.
15 and a half.
I have 3 kids.
15
Oh, that was
and
brilliant.
a half at 6 months and 15 days.
Yeah. So let's play. Guess who is the boss? I think we all know.
And because it's not Buck, that's for sure.
It's not me.
That's the way my wife is too. She'll say that, like, I'll tell the kids names and then she'll be like, in 3 months and 5 days. Oh yeah, my bad.
Yeah,
What do you
so,
do for
know.
work, Buck, if you don't mind me asking?
Sure. I work in IT. I work for
Yeah.
an architecture firm.
Yep.
It's actually pretty fun. I've been there for about 13 years, which I know is kind of weird for somebody in IT to stay at one job for so long.
Well, it's,
But,
it's impressive. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I'll be honest. I believe in the statement of the company, and they believe in me. I guess so. I've
That's
been there
awesome.
13 years. Um, but yeah, it's been fun. I've learned a lot. And I think it allowed me a lot. A lot of opportunities to grow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in my IT skills, and honestly, personally too, as a person.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty cool.
Did you have to?
Cool.
Did you go to college for that? Like get a bachelor's, or did you get like a certification of some sort?
Um, so I didn't get my bachelor's, but I have certs, and I'm still working on my more certs.
Yeah.
That's the only thing about IT. You just continually work on certs.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
It's
the thing with
great as
like,
well. It's like, does your company like pay for you to go through those certifications and stuff? Do they support you in your training? I think that's a
Yeah,
big
they'll
deal, like
reimburse.
when companies do
Yeah,
that.
mm,
yeah, they'll
yeah,
reimburse. It's
That's
pretty
good.
cool.
Yeah,
yeah,
no, that is really good. Yeah.
That's sick.
yeah. Like that with what I do, there's no like official like study for it. You can either do it or you can't, and that's really it. It's not like being a chef. You go through, you do your apprenticeship, you do all that kind of stuff. Like with coffee, it's like you just get a job straight out of school. You make some shitty coffee. You might learn some, you might learn nothing, and that's really it. And yeah, it's wild. Like there should be, because like what I do, like roasting coffee, there's like a science behind it. It's
Yeah.
insane. But
Yeah,
there's
there's a lot
no
of chemistry there. Like,
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, there is. But there's no like recognized study. There's no qualifications for it. You just do it, and then you get that experience, and then you're like, I've done it for 5 years, so I must know what I'm doing, and that's kind of it.
This coffee
Yeah.
tastes like shit, but yeah, it's shit out of Harvard. Okay.
yeah. That's Harvard level.
Yeah, that's
So I
right.
think there's there's probably almost like the opposite thing when it comes to things like IT and things like that. It's like
Mm,
a lot of people can go and get a qualification, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be good at your job. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
the fact that as you say, Buck, you've been there for 13 years. You believe in the company's mission statement, and I think that's so important.
Yeah.
agreed.
And they
yeah.
obviously believe in you, and they're investing back in you because you're obviously great at what you do. Like you
Oh,
could.
thanks.
Well, I mean, like a company's not doing that. Like if they could go and hire like a grad out of
Yeah,
university
Yeah,
for half the money or something like that. It's like, no,
right.
we're invested on making sure our company's doing well, and to do that we need to invest in talent. So like I think that's amazing. Like, a lot of companies don't do that. So
yeah.
I mean, I,
True.
I'm gonna disregard what Fraser sent me through for webcam, and I'm gonna come to you with all of my IT questions now. Like just saying.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
had a good suggestion. I think you had an
Yeah,
awesome suggestion, honestly.
yeah. No, but no,
Love it,
I
love
think
it.
it's
No, that's fine, V.
like
That's totally fine.
no, I do think it's like there are things, as you say, like you know, we have to like invest in, I would say, apprenticeships, training people up in order to do their jobs properly. But sometimes, and it's certainly in my career, a lot of the time there's a lot of over reliance on just being like, oh, you've got a degree, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, but were you good at it? Like,
Mm,
it's just like, especially in Scotland, and I wouldn't change it for the world. We have free university education in Scotland, and I think it's one of the best things. I'm so proud of my country that we have that.
yeah.
But it does kind of mean that like lots of people have a degree, so you want companies to then invest back into the talent that they hire and train people up, take on people in apprenticeship positions who are really talented, and make sure that they are, the best person for the job. Was is the yeah. I don't know.
Do you have any advice for people like just starting to get into IT? Because I know for me personally, I want to get out of trucking. being a semi driver is one of those things where it's like I was working at Amazon. I wanted to get out of Amazon, and they offered schooling, and I was like, I want to get into IT, and I was gonna get my schooling through Amazon, but they were like, "Oh, you gotta work at Amazon for the remainder of you doing school." And I was just like, hell no. I was like, I can't be here that long. And so basically, I just got my CDL within like 6 weeks, and I was out of there and making way more money. And so I've kind of just been stuck in trucking ever since. And I would like to get out. I want to get. Have you seen those Google certification classes that they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
man.
thought about doing one of those, but would you have advice for somebody like me?
So my advice, and I'm one of those guys. I feel like you can go anywhere you want with IT. Like it's so much you can do. You can, if you wanted to go into medical field, you could do that. Project management, it's so much. Cybersecurity obviously is
Yeah.
like a huge thing right now. Um, I would say to just start at the basics. Start at like um, security plus, network plus, stuff like that. And even if you just get a study guide, look through it, and just see if that's for you, if that's something you're interested in. And then you can go from there. Like you can go and do like the other specialties. Google is a great place to start. Microsoft also has something a little similar that you can take that's free. And you can look through those things and kind of like see if that's what you really want to do. And like it's one of those things where I feel like if you want to do it, it's very easy to get into it. My boss when I first started made a really great analogy. He said it's kind of like Donkey Kong. You go up and then you go across, and then you go up and then you go across, and that's kind of like what IT is. Things are always changing. Things are always evolving. You always have to like learn new skills or sharpen what you know. But I think it's a great place for everybody because it's something that it's something for everyone. Um, and you can always make your own lane.
Yeah.
Kind of like I did. Just find a place for you to be at, and you can excel and grow
Yeah.
at your own pace.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Like,
Yeah, it's super interesting. I've always been fascinated. Like I said, I've really wanted to get into it for a long time. So you'll be my go-to guy if I actually get the ball rolling on getting my certifications.
Yeah,
I'd
let
love
me
to.
know. I'm happy to ask. I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Awesome. I really appreciate that.
getting that ball rolling is like the hardest bit, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. It seriously is.
Ever since starting this stuff with the Gamer Social Club, like I never thought that I would be doing anything like this in my life, like ever. You know, I didn't do badly at school, but I didn't do great.
Right.
I just kind of coasted through school, played sport, smoked a bit of weed, like everyone does when you go to school.
Right.
And
Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
I took all the art subjects. So I did like drama and photography and all that kind of stuff. Got through school, and like I just fell into coffee. And then like 15 years later, I'm still doing it. I've done everything in the coffee industry, and I've now
That's
kind of
amazing, though. You're the only person I've ever met who's said that they've fallen into coffee, and I love that. Like, I think it's so cool.
Yeah,
Like,
I've met some of the most amazing people through coffee. Like the best man at my wedding, he walked into a cafe and we were both wearing the same band T-shirt, and we were like, "Whoa, look at this! What is happening?
What are we gonna do about
What is
this?
happening?
What?
And then like we fucking he started coming in a bit more. We started chatting, blah blah blah, and then he became like my best friend. And
I love the fact that your best friend had like a meet cute in a coffee shop. Like, that's like a romantic comedy plot.
Right?
Isn't it?
But then you were like, bros, yes,
Yeah.
coffee bros.
Yeah.
Like, I love it.
Yeah, but like I've been doing coffee for so long, and then this Gamer Social Club comes along. I'm like, do you know what? Maybe I want to like jump ship and start doing some like writing and that kind of stuff. But I don't even know where to start. I got no fucking idea where to start. So we'll see. Watch the space, right?
Right.
100%. I've
Yeah.
got to say, like, I know I was giving him a bit of a ribbon earlier when we were just talking about having no time, but Dano has to be quite possibly the most motivated man I think I have ever met in my entire life. The
Yeah.
amount of effort that goes into that site,
Mm.
and just every day, like doing the news. When we first started, him and his wife just had a new baby, and he's
Yeah.
like in the hospital, being
On
like,
his
"Oh,
phone,
this
like
news has
writing a
just
review.
dropped. Can,
Yeah.
like, can someone pick up this news?" Like, just genuinely, just so passionate about games, so passionate about the industry, and about making this space for gamers to talk about games for other gamers. Especially
Yeah.
as we're in this the part of the industry at the moment. Like, I'm not going to disparage other journalists that work for big publications, but I think the the owners of a lot of big publications now sort of lost sight of, what's important to gamers,
Mm.
and specifically what's important in the industry. There's like, it's not the journalists' fault, it's not the writers, it's not the people that work there. It's like they're being asked to pump out clickbaity content. They're being asked to report on like rumors and leaks, and sort of that
Yeah.
gives in its entire just, I'm not, like, horrible sphere on places like Twitter, where
Mhm.
half the people don't really care about games. They just care about whether or not they can win in an argument on Twitter. Like,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah,
just having this space for us to all chat and, be passionate about the hobby that we love, I think is amazing. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that's kind of been lost. Like these big sites, they're chasing SEO bait, um, and the algorithm. And I watched a really crazy video about how that's what's already happening, and it's great and it's refreshing to have a space where real people actually talk about video games instead of talking about how they can win on Twitter.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in the energy you give out comes back, and
Very much
that
so.
reciprocates. So I really get annoyed when the negative energy about video games gets promoted, because number one, why are we doing this if it's only to make somebody else mad? Like, that makes absolutely no sense to me. If you play things that you hate, I don't really understand that. I don't
Yeah.
understand like hate watching
yeah.
anything or hate playing anything.
Life
And
is hard enough. Who's
And
got the
life is
time?
hard enough. Exactly. Like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
You have people who play characters on Twitter or whatever, and it's just
Yeah.
like, why? Video games are too awesome to be
Yeah.
upset about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that's something I've
That's just me.
recently learned about is people who will follow just because they don't like this person's opinion and they want to hear what more comes out of them, and I can't relate to that. People like, I don't know if the Red Dragon is still around. I know he was this big one from Cleveland who's always like hate mongering or
You
whatever,
will
and I
have
just
absolutely summoned him to
I
this post. Like, as soon as
well,
this goes up on Twitter, he will be there, and he'll be like,
I probably shouldn't
"What are
even
you talking
say.
about?"
Yeah, I shouldn't
Like,
name drop, but
Look, I got
yeah.
him
I
blocked. I got him blocked. He
see.
ain't.
Yeah,
PS better.
and
Yeah.
Xbox
yep,
dead.
yep,
Like,
Yeah.
or
yep,
whatever.
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, and it's like the guy who has all the countries hate Xbox, like Japan hates Xbox. I'm like, dude, what are
Oh,
you
that
doing?
guy.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And then he
Yeah.
would
You're
he would
such an
comment
idiot.
to himself. Like
Yeah. I'm like,
he would post
what are you
something and then he
doing?
would comment on the post.
Yep.
Like,
I
Like,
see. I immediately block those people. Like, I can't. And it took
yeah.
me actively not clicking on these posts and looking at the comments to kick it out of my algorithm. So now when I go on Twitter, I'm not really
mhm.
seeing that stuff for the most part. I'm mainly seeing what you guys have to say about
Yeah.
what other people are talking about. That's how I'm still kind of somewhat chimed into what's being talked about, but it's not directly coming to the source for me because I've had, and it was hard. I think a lot of it has to do with the
It is
fact
hard.
that you see this post that you strongly disagree with, or you see something that's clearly bringing up a lot of negative vibes and emotions, and just you don't want to see it, so you want to do your part, right? You want to speak for the good that you believe in, so then you go and you comment on it, but the algorithm's like, oh, you like this. You like it, it
Right.
keeps
You're paying
throwing more
attention
and
to
more
this.
at
I'm gonna
you.
give you some more of this.
Yeah.
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 I'm a big fan of clicking reply, writing out my very, very angry reply, and then just deleting the reply. I feel like if you type it out, you get it out of your system.
Right.
And you're like, oh no, actually you're wrong, because I know
Yep.
you're wrong and these are the facts.
Right.
And then I can just be like, nah, delete that, because that's
This
not
makes
helping
me
anyone,
look
and it's
Mhm.
certainly not help. And I see it a lot less now. As I the same with you, Nathan. I only ever see it when people I follow, and like I follow quite a lot of people, but there's like a lot of them that I follow that I really love, and they're really good people, but they're really bad for like engaging in that almost like engagement bait. Like they'll do the quote tweet and being like, "Oh, this is so shit," and it's like, yeah, you didn't need quote tweet it though, did you? Like it's like,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
you're almost like you're perpetuating the issue. Just keep posting about the things about games that you love.
Yeah.
Like, and then
Exactly.
I'm not necessarily a proponent of just you need to be positive about everything, but
You
you
don't
also
have to be
don't
a
need
dick
to get
about
any of
it.
those,
Like,
and you don't need to get any of those really bad faith discussions of, or like, I love having a little joke on Twitter. I love it. Like, I'm from Scotland. I'm a absolute shithead when it comes to certain things. Like, sometimes it's nice to just have like just a bit of a joke, complete laugh. But if every second day or every day you're doing like a satirical tweet that's like making fun of the trolls, by just saying what they would say and then being like, oh, but it's satire. It's like, is it really satire? Or
Is
are
it
you
really
just
Nah.
satire?
engagement baiting? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like you want people to then argue under your post so you can then do a quote tweet of it and be like, oh, these guys don't get satire. Like, oh, like, look at these idiots. And it's like, mate, you invited this to your door. Why are
Yeah.
you annoyed that it turned up? Like,
Yeah.
you ordered this pizza. Why the fuck are you surprised that pizza is at your house? Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
My grandmother used to say, "Never argue with fools, because people from a distance can't tell who is who." And
yeah,
I
exactly.
That's amazing.
I
Yeah.
fall into that trap every once in a while, and I think about it. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I just gotta let. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I do what you do. I'll type a reply, and I'm just like, nah, I'm not
Yeah.
going to do it.
Yeah.
Not going to fall for the trap. I'm just going to go about my day.
Yeah.
Because you got people who are wired weirdly, and that gives them some type of joy, and I'm like, nah, I'm not giving it to you. I'm
That's
sorry, you're
called
gonna
a
have to find it
humiliation
somewhere else.
kink. And I'm not here to kink shame, but you can get that
That's
from
what
your
you
significant
into.
other if that's what you want to do.
Right?
That's what you into. I actually
And
replied that same
your
thing to one of my
humiliation
friends.
kink.
I was like, dude, you either have like a bunch of idiots in your replies, or they have a humiliation kink that they need to go figure out some other way to get their
Yeah.
jollies off. I don't know,
Yeah.
because it just looks kind of sad here.
So good.
um,
How are you, Nathan? What's been going on with
What's
you,
going
mate?
on?
you know, I'm
You're always
just
asking how everyone else is.
Yeah.
dude, I'm doing great actually. Last week let's see. It's been a rough past month or two. So last week was kind of even a little bit of a rough one that I even almost messaged you guys and been like, I don't know if I can do tonight. I just was not feeling it, and I just really had to push myself. And that's something I always like admire about a lot of people who have done this for a long time. Or I listen to the Elvis Duran in the Morning Show, and it just always blows my mind that these people can come on every single morning and be this like level of positivity that I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it. Like, I got one night out of the week where I'm like, I need to be in a good mindset and ready for this. And but this week I'm doing a lot better. I'm on some antidepressants, so I'm doing great. So like for the last year, right, I have been fighting this thing that is like kind of been hurting my chest, like it's been affecting my breathing and all this stuff. So I was like, well, it has to be the vaping, right? And so I quit vaping back in February. It's funny because you just told me. Allow me to explain.
I wasn't gonna say a word. Man.
Yeah, I was like, allow me to explain. So, no.
I was like, hey, I'm gonna let you cook. I totally understand.
Right on my table.
So, no, back in February, I ended up quitting because me and my doctor were not finding the issue. We couldn't figure it out. And I was like, well, then maybe it's coming from the vaping. So I quit vaping in February and quit nicotine altogether, like cold turkey. And that was rough, but zero nicotine explanation. And so we've also found out that this wasn't the issue of my breathing stuff. It was just acid reflux. It's taken over a year for me to realize that it's been acid reflux fucking with me so bad. And like, it's affected my voice as well. And I don't know if anybody who's been listening or watching has noticed that when I laugh, it kind of sounds like I got a smoker's cough, like a laugh, like it's very like kind of wheezy a little bit when I laugh, but in reality, I'm finally starting to get my voice back this week, and I've been on cloud 9 because I've been on like this medication that's supposed to like get it back. So like, my voice is coming back. I've been making all sorts of jokes because the way I talk is not monotone. The way I talk is just all over the place. I mean, we started out this episode doing a little jingle, all right? That's how I roll. And the fact that I have finally gotten that voice back to do silly, stupid jingles, hell yeah. I'm a very happy person this week.
Yeah. So
like, I've been doing all sorts of funny voices with my kids, and they've been having fun. So I've been in a good mood this week. But other than that, I've been trying to take care of my mental health and find more time to play video games and things of that nature. The weekdays are still a hard thing for me because, my work is so unpredictable. I can go from, hey, come in at 9 p.m. tonight, then the next day I'll go in at 1 a.m. And then I might work 6 hours, I might work 12, I might work 14, I might work 7. So it's all over the place, and it really messes with my sleep, especially when you got kids. I got to watch my kids. I got 2 kids, and my wife also works in the middle of the day, so it's just that thing of trying to juggle everything and also, like, trying to find the time for Gamer Social Club, and then that's something else to take into account when I'm thinking about trying to get my certification in IT, because I'm just like, how am I going to juggle everything at once? Because I tell you what, like, when it comes to Gamer Social Club, I really it's high on my priority list, and I know it can be hard, it might be hard to believe with how many articles I don't write throughout the week, but I'm genuinely trying. I've just got so much I'm juggling. Things have been good. So let's see. I'll get into the games I'm playing here in a second, but shoot, what was I going to say? Oh, yes, I remember what I was going to say. I apologize. My mind's all over the place at all times. So me and my wife were talking last night about the whole entire... You were talking about getting into coffee and how you just fell into it, right? Well, she was talking about how she has always wanted to be like... She's like, we were watching Twister. And she was like, I always wanted to be a storm chaser. And she's like, you have those 3 professions that you've always thought of yourself getting into. And we got into that discussion. And she's like, I've always wanted to be a storm chaser, or I've wanted to, be a zoologist. And then she just was easily listing off 4 or 5 different professions and I'm just like, I've never had that, like, ever. Like, I am about to turn 30, and I'm like, I still don't have that. For me, it's always just been this. what we're doing now. Like, it's not. I hate to sound. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's that thing of like, I knew that it would never really be a profession. I'm glad that I'm finally doing it now, and I feel like maybe it would have become a profession if I had started at an early age and like pressed on, and then who knows where I would be now. But like, it's just kind of been that thing of I just want to try to provide, make the money, and then do the things I love on the side, and kind of come to terms with like not every passion / hobby has to be how you bring in money for your family. And to those of you listening, something that I have found helpful in that journey is kind of coming to terms with, okay, well, if I can't make money through this, look at the positives, right? And one of those positives is that you do get to play the things that you want. You know, you look at the journalists, you look at game testers. These game testers, they play the same game 40 hours, taking notes, playing the same level over and over and over. Is that really how you want to spend your video game time? Do you know, you see what I'm saying here? Like, I don't, it's all, the grass isn't always greener on the other side, is all I'm trying to say. You know, we think like, oh, my life would be so much better if I was just able to do X, Y, Z for a living. But in reality, you're probably going to be hella sick of whatever it is you're doing for your job by the time you get home. So now it's like you come home and you play the games you want to do. I feel like we've talked about that before on this podcast about how, like, you know, I used to run a cleaning business. Last thing I wanted to do when I got home was clean my house. So house didn't get cleaned. So, you know, that's one thing to always consider when it comes to what you want to do for your career. But yeah, she was making fun of me. I was like, I don't know what I want to do when I grow up. She's like, but
it's all good.
I roast coffee all day, every day. I deal with like the most expensive coffee that you can fucking think of.
Yeah.
On a Saturday, I've got my pod machine out.
Yeah.
And I'm drinking my Nescafe.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking deal with coffee on the weekend. No way. Absolutely not.
Fraser, I really need you to send me some of this coffee, man. Like,
that's what I was saying. I really want to get some.
with you on this.
I could, put your addresses, put your addresses in the comments, and I'll fucking fling you some stuff.
Okay.
I work for a whiskey. I work for a whiskey company. It's a fair trade, man. I'll send you some whiskey.
I'm coming to visit. You don't need to send me anything. I'm going to come and visit.
I could probably get you like a tour of a distillery or something for free. Like, just tell me your favorite scotch.
Or a job. That'd be better.
I don't do anything exciting at my job. Like it's not like whiskey company sounds exciting, but what I do is not particularly exciting for it. But I could at least get everyone a nice little tour around the distillery and some free samples. Like
that sounds good to me.
That's all we want. That's all we need, babe. That's all we need.
Just tell me your favorite scotch. Like everyone can put their favorite scotch in the comments as well. But you know, you guys just tell me your favorite scotch. I'll see if I can send you a bottle.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I am.
Oh man,
I'm so base. I'm a basic bitch when it comes to whiskey.
Right. Same.
I mean, we also make vodka and gin as well. So if you'd rather, like, we can do that. Like,
I just like Jameson's. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry.
I don't. We don't make Jameson's. That's.
I know you don't. I know you don't.
Because that's Irish. So
I
it's
know.
not.
I know, but Scottish whiskey. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't like it.
You don't have to get it. It's okay.
It's
You can just fully admit on the internet that you have no taste. No, I'm joking. I really like Jameson's. Jameson's is a good drop. Like
it's the peat.
But
I can't handle the peat. You guys go.
Oh no. If you like Jameson's, I can recommend you a good. Scotland's got like 300 distilleries or something like that. Not all of them are peaty. Only the famous ones are really peaty.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry. I've got you.
It's like drinking a cigarette, and I'm like.
No, I don't like peaty whiskey either. I prefer to smoke my cigarettes.
He's like, this tastes like Marlboro.
It's like, why am I drinking my Marlboro? Someone's dropped a Marlboro Red into my glass of whiskey. This is unacceptable. Yeah, and there's plenty of good Scottish whiskies that don't taste like they don't have any peat at all.
Yeah.
A lot of the lowland malts. I've got a 24-year-old Glen Kinchy
Ooh.
in the corner.
Yeah.
Specifically because it was barreled the year that I was born. So
Oh,
technically it's a 33-year-old bottle of whiskey.
yeah. Oh.
And it's a lowland malt and there's not a hint of peat in it.
Thank
and I
God.
think
Yeah.
if you like non-peaty whiskies, you'll probably enjoy a Glen Kinchy.
Yeah.
Right.
Fantastic. All right. I'm in.
So when you come
in.
over, when we all decide on where we're going to visit,
Yeah.
just come to Scotland and I'll just take you out for free drinks for the whole night. Like,
And
Hell
I'll
yeah.
bring some coffee.
I'm just gonna show up. You know what? Here's what I'll do.
You
Since
can drive the truck, Dave.
everybody's bringing something to the table, so this is satire. If my boss is listening, I just open up the back of the truck and just grab random packages, and I'll bring them with me.
Here you go.
It's like a raffle. Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nathan with his little Santa hat on, like pulling up, like, yes.
Oh man.
Oh, love it. Love it.
So,
And how are
Lady,
you, V? How are you?
And also, where'd you
When's-
get the
when's-
shirt? It's amazing.
Oh, so this is from the Xbox merch store. So this is the Halo Needler.
It's
Specific
super
shirt.
dope.
Oh, that's so dope.
Yeah, it's so
So
cool.
it says Halo, and then obviously there's the Needler in the background. Because that's my favorite weapon in Halo. I will be taking no notes.
Right, yeah.
I just
that's-
love it. Like,
Oh, the pink mist.
yeah.
It is, yeah, it's awesome.
But yeah, I don't know if they're still available in the Xbox merch store. I got it during one of the Halo events, so but you can always have a look. I think the Xbox merch store is usually pretty good. I've got like lots of Gears of War socks.
Yeah.
Oh my
like,
God.
I missed
As
the
they're
Gears
just
of War
amazing,
E-Day shirt that I wanted, and it sold out twice.
Oh,
I
really?
was like,
Yeah.
Man.
yeah.
Notification for
Yeah.
restock. Notification for
Yeah.
restock.
It
Yeah.
There's this like streetwear company in Australia called Culture Kings, and they do collaborations with fucking everyone, and they're currently doing a Halo collaboration. So I've got a couple of Halo t-shirts coming. There's like a Halo 2 and a Halo 3. And like, so it's just got the little emblem on the front, and then on the back it's got the legendary emblem with like the bullet hole through it. And then like, I think it says like 2007 or something. It's fucking so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the Halo 3 did come out in 2007, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember playing it through on Legendary with 3 of my friends after school. Like,
Oh, good.
show my age there, like after
Yeah.
high school. Like,
But no, how
I'll
you
be
been?
back in a second. I'll see if I can.
Wait, where'd he go? What's
Wait.
happening?
So
he's going to get
So-
something
Somebody
cool.
was-
He's going to get something cool to show
I-
us.
it's the
Yeah,
same
he's
Merch,
doing
company.
something
merch,
cool.
merch,
Culture
merch.
Kings. So I picked up this.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
And-
That is cool.
Oh,
that's awesome.
That's so cool.
For audio
So I got
listeners,
this
it's
from
a
that
Silent
same-
Hill shirt.
From that same company, that Culture Kings, they did that, and I was like, I need that. I need that so badly.
Bro, I'll just buy you a bottle of Jameson's. Like, just get me a cool shirt.
Just give me a cool shirt.
Oh, I like the exchange. That's awesome.
Yeah, done.
No, but how you been, Lady V? What have you been up to?
No, I've been really good this week. I've been very busy with work. I've spent 3 days this week in our factory doing some experiments on various things that I can't talk about because it's under non-disclosure.
Ooh,
but-
fun.
That's fun.
So secret, so excited.
Yeah.
But no, it's been a good week, but it's just been very, very busy doing workshops and things like that. I also like if we're talking about mental health and prioritizing that, I on Thursday had my last in a 12-week session of therapy. And was
Nice.
feeling well, I'm still feeling really good about that. So would very much recommend to people if they can get therapy, if they can afford it and they can if they're able to get it. It's a really good thing.
It's amazing.
Even if you feel like you might not necessarily need it. It
Yeah.
can really help you even just prioritize life and get things sorted. And then obviously in the time that I've had after coming home from the factory, apart from buying donuts, and taking the donuts to my friends' houses so that get those friends points up. I've just been playing a shit ton of games. Like there's so many games available right now.
Yep.
I'm trying to do some of the backlog, even just a tiny bit of the backlog. It's not going down. It's just getting bigger and bigger.
What?
But no, I've been having a great time. I've been having a really, really good week. So
Awesome.
yeah,
What's
it's been
in your
nice.
backlog? What is your longest standing game that's been in your backlog? So the way my backlog works is I've got a pile beside my fucking box, beside my thing here, and as new games get bought, they just get put on top. So and it just goes down, and I just look at it and I'm like, I'm overwhelmed with how much I have to play.
Fraser's question
I have a
corner.
I have a spreadsheet.
Here we
Uh,
Sorry, you
Oh, that's
always talk
awesome.
about your spreadsheet. It's
That's
amazing.
awesome.
yeah,
That's awesome.
I have a spreadsheet, and it's not up to date. But I categorize mine by how long to beat. So
Right. Yeah.
for the story,
That's a good way.
I am also a completionist, so there's a separate column that's how long it takes to get on 100% of all the achievements or trophies.
Mm-hmm.
And then so none of them are categorized by how long they've been in the backlog. It's just by hours.
Yeah.
But how long to beat if I just completed the story of everything in my backlog that is currently not ticked off. And again, this is not everything that's in my backlog.
Oh my God.
Is 1,900 hours. And if I 100% completed them all for achievements / trophies, it is 4,443 hours.
Oh
And again, this is not actually my entire backlog.
no.
Uh,
Oh.
if I was going to
Brutal.
say the thing that's been on it for the longest in terms of 100% completion, it's Oblivion. It's the Elder Scrolls
Yeah.
Oblivion.
Okay.
I've obviously completed the story before, but nah, I've not. Is it? It's either Oblivion or it's Lost Odyssey, the Xbox 360 exclusive JRPG, which is an absolute banger. If you've not played it, it is backwards compatible and it's available in Game Pass. Please go and play it. But yeah, my backlog spreadsheet mocks me on the reg.
Yeah.
And I've not even added in every single thing of the 30 things that I bought in the Steam summer
You
sale.
Do you guys cut things from your backlog? Like I'm just never gonna get to that and just like discard it.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's just it's just never happening. I talked about it once before. I got Sekiro sitting there. Like I just got to beat the last boss, and it's just not happening. But I just can't give it up. Like it's still installed, it's still there, and I still have the Demon of Hatred, and I still got the final boss. So it's like I'm just not ready to say goodbye. But there are plenty of games where I'm just like, it's just never going to happen. Again, expired things in my backlog fridge that I just ended up tossing out. XCOM, The Bureau, like that game you were talking about, that was one of them. But yeah, there's plenty of them.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I reckon mine's like Alien Isolation. I bought that when it came out, and I bought like the special super duper edition with all the DLCs and all the things and all the stuff, and I haven't played a minute of it ever.
Oh, it's so good
I
though.
know. I've heard so many amazing things about it, and yeah, I'm just for whatever reason, I'm like, cool. What backlog game am I going to play now? And then I scan through, and I just skip over Isolation like every time. Don't know.
I know. I would highly recommend The very first time I played it, I had to switch off my Xbox. I was terrified.
Oh,
Like
that's
I
so
was
exciting.
genuinely
Yeah.
terrified of that game. Like I couldn't.
Oh,
Like I have to play it
amazing.
in the daytime with
Yeah.
the light on. Like
Oh, is it that?
I
Yeah. Oh, whew.
Is that
yeah,
intense?
it captures the game. It captures the movie so well. I might just because B1, I'm a massive pussy, and two, I live alone, so like
Mm,
scary things get to me a little bit more. But
yeah.
oh, it's a masterpiece. It's so good.
Okay. You know what?
It's a great
have
game.
to do it. I might have to do it.
It's a great game. I haven't finished it. What I played of it, I really enjoyed it. So
Okay.
You need to get a heart rate monitor and then stream it so we can laugh.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
pretty intense.
yeah.
That's one game I've only played very little of, and yeah, it's intense.
And the other one
Wait,
was
am I the only person here that's like played it all the way through? Like the little terrified woman who lives by herself. God
Yeah.
damn, you guys need to like
Yeah.
like
yeah. Yeah.
Get it together, huh?
Yeah.
come on. Like,
Yeah. And the other one was Biomutant. Like, did you guys
Oh,
ever play
yeah,
Biomutant?
didn't you say you got it like sitting in front of your console? You just have never taken it out of the
Yeah.
case. Yeah, I've never
Yeah.
played it.
It's just sitting there. And like again, like
I bought it. I've
Yeah.
never
I
never
bought it.
installed it. I bought it digitally. I've not even installed.
it looked really great. It looked cute and fun. And I don't
It
know,
looks awesome.
I fell off RPGs quite hard. And now I'm kind of slowly getting back into them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see.
Do you guys want to get in? Give me 1 second. I need to step away from the camera for a second. But do you guys want to start getting into a little bit of? How much time do you have left, Buck? Or do you got to get off here?
I've probably got like at least another 40 minutes or so.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I might have to go put out a fire real quick. But yeah, Buck, do you want to get started? Share with us a little bit what you've been playing.
Oh, sure. So funny enough, we were talking about how the summer lull is dead, and that is a very true thing because
Mhm.
I have three games. Um, I downloaded Dungeons of Hinterberg, which is
Yep.
awesome. I really enjoyed that. Somebody said it's like a dungeon crawler with Persona tacked on, like
Okay.
the personality management and making relationships and friendships and stuff like that. So that was immediately like very interesting to me. Um, then I got Flintlock, also downloaded that, been playing that.
hmm
I know some people didn't like it. To me, it's kind of like God of War mixed with a little bit of like a Soulsborne, Elden Ring type of game. Um, so I really enjoyed it, and I got college football. So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
that's been like, it's so insane, like how that game has not been out for almost 10 years. And as soon as they started talking about it coming back, people who I know don't play video games like that were like, yeah, I'm going to
Dude,
get a new system for this
it's
game.
like selling consoles. Like
It is.
I've,
It
I
is.
don't know that like the numbers or anything, but I've just scrolling through my feed one day I saw something about like people buying an Xbox because of it. Is it not
Yeah.
cross platform? Is it only on Xbox?
No, it's on Xbox and PlayStation, but since
Yeah.
you can get a Xbox Series S for, almost a little bit under $300, and if you're good, maybe like
Yeah.
closer to 200.
Yeah.
It's the cheapest way to play that game. And you
Yeah.
have
And if
people
that's
who are
all you
like,
play,
yeah,
right? You don't need to
yeah, that's all I'm gonna play. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
buy that. And then like Target here in the States had a crazy deal. If you bought the Series X and you bought college football, you got $100 off of both.
Wow. That's
So that's
awesome.
like getting
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah.
crazy. Like you're getting pretty much the game and $40 off a console. I mean
Yeah.
$30 off a console. So,
Yeah. Wow.
people really are, digging that.
Yeah.
And I started playing it and I was like, man, this is better than Madden. And I don't even play Madden anymore.
That's
But
cool.
like college football, it's so cool. It's such a great game. And then, my sons are playing it and they're like, yeah, I did this. And I'm like, wow, this is super cool.
Yeah. I like
That's amazing because it's not something that I think would it's definitely not something that I would see
No,
it. Well, anyone in Scotland would really talk about
no.
playing because it seems very like US centric.
Yeah.
But
It is.
I
It
think
is.
it's like but it's just so amazing like how much, as you say, it's like completely captured people that don't play video games. Like we did so much coverage of it on the site.
Yeah.
And all those articles got so many views. Like people are so excited for this, and
Oh
like
yeah.
I just like it when people are like enjoying playing games. Like, yeah. So
Same
Uh,
here.
uh,
And go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, can you tell us a bit about it? Because like from what I've heard, it's not just football, right? Like there's more to it.
Yeah, that's actually the funniest part about it. Like you can so a couple things. You can create your own player and go through the
Yeah.
program. You can also create your own school. You also like recruit students, which is a lot of the chatter have been about this game is because some of the craziest stuff happens. Like you can DM a player on Twitter and try to get them and like just wild situations,
Yeah.
and it's hilarious. I think like playing a game and playing football is probably secondary to this crazy stuff that you can do
should we
recruiting
be
and stuff like
encouraging people to DM like 18-year-olds on Twitter? I feel like
Yeah.
I feel
There's
like
some
we should not
things
be doing
happening at the
this.
moment that are
there's a
not.
line. There's a line. No, I don't think you can you can cross that one. But they've had a couple like things come up. I'm like, wow, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Some guy at
Okay.
EA was just like, "Do you know what? Like, let's let them just slide into the DMs. Like, let's
Yeah.
Yeah,
do it."
let's
Yeah.
let him go. Go wild.
Yeah.
But
Like
yeah.
coming from Australia, the college football just is out of this world to me. It's not something that is a thing here. Like I grew up in New Zealand, so like rugby union is our thing. Moving
Hmm.
to Australia, they have something called Aussie rules, which is like a mixture of like
Absolute
basketball
lunatics is
and
what they are.
yeah, but it's like basketball, soccer, and like contact. It's like a contact basketball soccer where they kick it to each other and then you fucking hammer each other. Like, ugh. Oh my god, it's fucking insane. But like, and so that's the Australian thing of like you grow up, you play this Aussie rules, you blah blah blah. But there's nothing like college football here. Like you don't. I'm pretty sure you don't like ride scholarships through school to get into like. It's just yeah. So it's wild to see something like that.
Yeah, college football here is such a culture because so when it comes to like football, like pro level football, it's
Hmm.
only about 32 teams, which it sounds like a lot, but it's really not a lot.
Yeah.
Once you get to college football, like we're talking like thousands. And these like most of these universities that have those big programs bring in a lot of money, and a
Hmm.
lot of people get excited about it. Like here, I'm in DC, um, so right outside of DC in Virginia, Virginia Tech has a really good college program.
Yeah.
As far as like the culture, maybe they haven't won a lot of bowl games, but the culture of it is really cool. And this game kind of captures a lot of that for a lot of different teams.
Yeah.
Um, I think there's about 128 teams in the game, and then you can create different teams. And they capture like the stadium and the excitement around it. Like they use Virginia Tech. They use uh, what's that Metallica song? I'm sorry. I'm just like I had it on my head and it just went boom, just right
Yeah.
out. So they use that at like the second half kickoff. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Feel free to slander me.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
but
Drag me through that.
yeah, just drag me through the weeds. It's all good. Um, but like a lot of that, like they capture that excitement, and for some people, like that's really important, and they really enjoy that.
Mm.
and it's really cool to see it like recreated in a video game.
Yeah.
Um, you know, some people they're more excited about college football than they are about pro football and the NFL, or maybe their state doesn't have a pro team, NFL team,
Yeah.
and they
Okay.
have a college team that's really good. Oklahoma,
Yeah.
Texas has a billion really good college teams, and people become fans, and it's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That is cool.
Well,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm not much of a sports person, but wouldn't you say it's a lot about like the tribalism of it too? It's that fact of like I'm from Ohio, so if the Buckeyes are playing, then even though I'm not watching
Ohio.
football, I'm out here rooting for them. So I think there's just a lot more people who are invested into college football than they are
Mhm.
actual pro sports.
And
Yeah.
it is easier to get invested. These kids up until a couple years ago weren't getting paid, which is a
Yeah.
whole different subject.
It's crazy.
Dude,
Crazy. The amount of money that college football was bringing in and not paying is
So
insane.
See,
Again,
I think it's I think it's crazy that you would pay someone in college to play a sport, but that's because it's
Right?
completely
yeah.
it's completely wild to me because that's like not a thing in the UK at all. Like,
Yeah.
if you were being paid to play like soccer or football as we would call it, at that age, you would be like semi-professional or a professional footballer. Like,
so
you wouldn't be playing it whilst you're in school necessarily. Like, you would be playing for a professional team or a national team. I get the tribalism though. I mean, like 2 weeks ago, it was Spain versus England in the Euro FIFA finals, and everyone in Scotland was Spanish that evening. Like,
yeah,
so-
yeah. I know you guys were.
So like
Um,
15 years ago, our international rugby team, the All Blacks, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of them.
they are
I
very good.
I
Like,
think
they're so
they
good.
they might be the most successful sports team ever of all the things, of all the everything. They all had jobs. So they would work a 9 to 5, and then on Saturday they would play rugby. And
Rugby's not very profitable
that was our
sport.
international team. So like they would have to take
Wow.
time off work
Wow.
to travel to South Africa to play South Africa, to then come home and go back to
Yep,
fucking
go
dairy
back to
farming
work.
or whatever.
Wow.
And that was only 15 years ago. And now they get paid enough, but it's still, they play 4 or 5 years in the All Blacks and then they go to France and get paid the big money.
Get paid the big bucks.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they just play provincial rugby in France, and it's almost like a retirement thing for them.
Wow.
So
Well, we can't let them play for the France national team, or else like we'll never win the Calcutta Cup in the rugby. Come on, give us a chance. Like,
oh, I tell ya. Yeah, those
it's
are
the
some
only
big boys.
it's the only sport we're even remotely good at. Sometimes you gotta give us a chance, please. Like,
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's just absolutely wild to me, that like a and the fact that it's been 10 years since the last one,
Yep.
and
Yeah, I think
people have
9
just
years,
like
just about 10.
people have exploded for it. And like I
Yeah.
hope that I do, and I don't hope that it doesn't become just like another FIFA or another Madden where they just keep pumping them out year after year after year. Like, take a break, take a 4 or 5 year break between them, and like make some good changes.
Well,
like, get people excited about it.
I feel like that's what we've been saying for a long time, but I think the problem is that why bother doing that when it's working? People are still continuing to
sells,
pay.
right?
Yeah,
You're gonna
it's
buy it
still
every
selling.
year.
It's still top of the sales chart every single month. And we talk about how great this game or that game's doing, and we're such a part of the minority. At the end of the day, the top 10 sellers on PlayStation, Xbox, whatever, never changes. It's always the same games. It's always Madden.
Always the
Call of
same
Duty,
game.
Yeah,
FIFA,
Call of Duties.
Madden.
And those are all
Okay.
annualized games, not really doing that much different after year. But I mean, the thing that's such a big deal about the college football game, though, is the fact that that's what the first one in 13 years. Am I wrong? It's
9, I think. We just
okay.
9, yeah, it's like 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
wild.
it's been selling like we were just saying it moved consoles,
Mhm.
which is crazy
Yeah.
because we're starting to see where these consoles are not moving like they were.
Right.
They're not selling like they were. The Switch is an anomaly. It's Nintendo. They also don't drop prices on games.
Right.
So you already know.
God
but
damn
like
you, Pokemon. Empty my bank account.
What's
every
crazy
time,
about it
it's
is.
like,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, you're good.
Oh no, I was just
I
going
did.
to add to what you were saying as far as it moving consoles. It's like you're seeing all these people who bought consoles for the last college game, or the your average Joe who plays video games for the games we're talking about: Madden, FIFA, Call of Duty, Battlefield, Fortnite, you name it. That's what he's primarily playing, and it's like this college game's just coming out on new consoles, and they're probably sitting there being like, oh man, I heard about I've been seeing on my local weather report people talking about it. So like I think it's people like that are like, oh wait, I can't use my Xbox One, my Xbox 360 for this, and then it's Xbox Series S, perfect entry level thing to grab. Digital PS5. I mean, it's getting to the point where the digital versions of these consoles are getting pretty significantly cheaper now to get into. So if you need to play that next new thing, so I think you're 100% on the money. That's what's it's a console mover.
Yeah, which is crazy. Because this was
Wild.
supposed to be a down year. I mean, I know you guys have talked about the layoffs and how the industry is absolutely cooked.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like these things, like this game, is like it's crazy. Like we knew it was gonna be big. I'm pretty sure everybody knew it was gonna sell, but they didn't realize like it would start moving consoles.
Yeah.
Like this is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Like
I did the search engine optimization on all of the articles that we've done for college football, and every single time I was like, why have we got 3 articles this week about college? What is this?
Oh yeah,
Like,
it's
'cause
huge.
obviously, as someone who's not in the not in the US, I was like, I don't. I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
Like, I consider myself pretty up on games and stuff like that, and I was like, we are doing so much coverage on this. And then when I saw the numbers come in, I was like, God damn, those Americans love them some college football.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a rarity for me to meet somebody who plays anything outside of the games we just listed. That's primarily what a lot of people play. So if I talk to somebody and I'm like, hey, what do you play? And the conversation goes past those games, I get really excited. I'm like, yay, let's talk about Flintlock. Let's talk about whatever. Yeah.
Speaking of Flintlock, have we all played it?
Wait. Let's not get into Flintlock yet.
No, Nathan wants to talk about. Yeah, fine. It's fine.
So,
Where's your Xbox? Go and switch on your Xbox right now.
Yeah. So, no, wait. I've got a couple things I want to mention before we get into Flintlock, because I know we're all playing Flintlock right now. I'm pretty sure.
Oh wait, no, he has played it. Like,
Yeah. I'm not sure if Buck has, but I know Lady V has been talking about it on Twitter.
I have.
Okay, yeah. So we've all been playing that,
Yeah.
but I wanted to kind of quick give a little bit of a rundown of some of the other stuff I've been working on, because I got 2 betas I want to talk about, and then nobody wants to die before we get into talking about Flintlock. But so I've been playing 2 betas, or played Concord. I played the Concord beta, and just to kind of give you a summary of what that was like, it was cool. I did not. It reminded me a lot of Destiny. As far as how tight it felt and the gameplay of it. And I think when I hear people comparing it to the Crucible meets Overwatch, I think that's about the best comparison you can give it. I had a lot of fun with
Destiny
it.
does shooting well.
Yeah,
Destiny does shooting
That's
so well.
what I'm saying
Yeah,
is Destiny does
shooting
shooting
well.
super well, which goes into the other beta I've been playing, which is Marvel Rivals. I just played played a couple hours of it this morning. And when you're comparing the two, it sticks out to me that Concord, in my opinion so far, does shooting better. Now, granted, one's a third person and one is a first person, so you can only compare so much. But as far as how competitive it feels, I would say Concord does it better. I think there's a deeper discussion to be had whenever the game actually comes out. I would love to go back and take snippets. Me and Fraser have only done one episode where it was just me and him, and we talked about what gets you into a live service game. And if you haven't listened to it, I suggest going back and listening to it, because we're going to be bringing out stuff from that podcast when we start talking about Concord. Because it's really put it in perspective for me how many people are playing Rivals. Because if you would have asked me a week ago, I would have went out to bat for Concord and said Concord's going to surprise everybody. Everybody's saying dead on arrival. I don't think so. I think it's got everything everybody's asking for. Now, if you ask me, I don't think so anymore, just because I'm looking at these numbers and it's like I forget who, I think it was Push Square did an article about it, where the audience on PlayStation, not Steam, on PlayStation went down by 8% the second weekend of Concord's beta. And that was already pretty low, like in the thousands, not even in the, So it was pretty low. And then you look at Marvel Rivals and you got 50,000 people in a closed beta versus the 3,000 in a open beta. So
the Concord, didn't you have to pre-order it to play that beta though?
So the first weekend, yes.
Did.
Second weekend, no.
First one, yeah.
Second weekend, it was open. So that was the article. The article on Push Square was, again, I might be labeling the wrong website, but the article was even called "Defying Logic goes into open beta and loses players," which is crazy. So I just don't know if it's the $40 price tag. Again, totally separate conversation to be had. I just wanted a quick mention, like, hey, this is my summary of that experience so far. Marvel Rivals is really cool. I think it's got the sauce. It's got a lot of work, in my opinion. Like, there's a lot of leveling. And I feel like Overwatch was the exact same way. When it first came out, was, really bad with imbalance. And I think a lot of people dropped off of that game because there was imbalance issues. Everybody was using the guy with the turret. Man, I can't talk. Everybody was using the guy with the turret because he would just obliterate everything. And so I'm having that same issue with Marvel Rivals, and just the 2 or 3 hours that I played this morning was that I was noticing Star-Lord, Magneto, Storm, the exception of maybe 1 or 2 other characters, was just ungodly powerful. And Star-Lord was taking people out like it was Call of Duty. And then
Storm deserved it. Storm's amazing.
Right? Yeah. Well, yeah. Storm's dope, right? Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. But that's the thing is, like, Star-Lord's taking out people like it's Call of Duty. He was the first person I picked, and I'm blasting through people like he's kind of more of like a dual SMG kind of dude. But even at a long distance, I was taking people out like that, and I got 15 kills on my first game. And then in my second game, I tried a new character, didn't get one. So balancing issues I'm seeing like huge. So again, it's a beta. That's why it's called a beta. It's a closed one for a reason. Like, they've got a lot of stuff to work on, but I think they've got the sauce because I'm seeing how the formula of Overwatch has copied and pasted very nicely for them. And not to mention, the thing that has me geeking out about it is the fact that they got Yuri Lowenthal. I think that's how you pronounce his name. The guy who voiced Spider-Man for the Spider-Man games. He's in it. Like, and for me, it's like,
nice.
it stands out. I'm like, man, that's Yuri. That's sick. And the characters also talk with each other too. Like, I played Magneto. Again, I found out he was very OP. But when I got killed, Storm was like, I should be happy about your death, but something inside me empty. I'm like, bro, it's a multiplayer game. It's not that deep. But like, it was the dialogue in battles was pretty
draws
wild.
us to these hero shooters are the characters.
Exactly.
Like,
You're always going to have a leg up when
Mhm.
you're using something like Marvel.
Mhm.
People can talk about superhero fatigue all they want, but people still love superheroes.
Absolutely.
Like, so
absolutely.
I think, and I think it's also, again, the fact that it's free to play.
Yep.
Like, because almost every other hero shooter is free to play, I just feel like people are like, they're going to, I don't want to spend £40 for something that I'm not sure if I'm going to like. Whereas you could dip into a Marvel's Rivals or an Overwatch for free and be like, damn, I don't like this, and then just dip back out. But if you spend £40 on something, then what? Like, you don't like it? It's not well balanced. You have to wait for balance updates for the characters and stuff. I don't know.
Is Rivals multi-platform?
Yes.
Or is
Yes.
it exclusive?
It already in the closed beta, it's multi-platform.
Yeah. And so, like, personally, like, I don't own a PlayStation 5 yet. I plan to get one, but I just don't own one. And the fact that Concord is an exclusive and it's going against all of these other multi-platform ones, and it costs money. It's like they're kind of, I feel like maybe are they stacking too many things on? Should they have done, it costs money, but it's multi-platform? Or we're going to make it PlayStation exclusive, but it's going to be a free-to-play. Like, with that...
Well, and
I don't know.
here's my thing.
It's PC and PlayStation, yeah?
It is PC and PlayStation.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, it's PC and PlayStation.
Yeah, but
and
the thing with, like, Helldivers, that's PvE, yeah? It's not PvP.
No, it's...
TV.
Like, I play Halo. I play Halo on console. I sometimes play Halo on my PC. I'm not playing a hero shooter on PlayStation if half for £40, if half of the player base is on PC and I'm not getting a kill. I'm sorry, mouse and keyboard is better for PvP shooters.
Yeah.
Like, it just is.
Yeah.
You're asking people to pay $40 for someone on Steam that probably got it on sale to shoot them in the head continually.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Right.
Like, I don't know how well that is going to go. Like,
But, like, the people that I follow on Twitter all really enjoyed Concord. Like, everyone's saying, I had fun playing it and I will play it. But then,
will you pay £40 for it?
yeah.
So here's my thing is I think I'm glad you brought out Helldivers. You didn't say what I thought you were going to say, but you brought up Helldivers too, and that's what I was going to do because I mean it's a $40 game that's multiplayer. There's nothing more to it. It's small. It charges for your season pass. It's $10 for the pass or whatever. It's not like that's free. And that's the thing that has surprised me the most about people's responses to Concord. It's like, guys, where was all of this same exact complaints that Concord's getting? I didn't hear this a single time with Helldivers 2. I don't know if it's just that Concord's being held to a different standard because it's the only exclusive that came from PlayStation Showcase. because that's the only thing that can somewhat make sense to me. Maybe even the fact that it is in the genre of Overwatch that it's being judged so harshly, and it's like, okay, well, we do have free to play experiences to compare it to directly, unlike Helldivers 2. So I mean, maybe that's what it is. But to me, I'm looking at Helldivers 2 and I'm like, all right, well, I paid $40 for that game. Most of the greatest guns in the game are from passes that you need to buy, which again feel like a pay to win, because once you start getting to these higher level difficulty missions or whatever, you need to have those weapons. You need to be in the meta of Helldivers 2, and that requires more money. I don't see much complaints about that at all. But yet here Concord is, it's $40. They just talked about how they're not doing a battle pass. All the post content is free. So what can they do to win people over? It boggles my mind personally. I'm not pushing for either side. I don't have a horse in this race. I'm simply just an observer of this situation. And I'm not even a huge fan. I know I talk about it a lot, but I'm not even a huge fan of Overwatch. Like, I'm not big into that scene. So it's not like Concord for me personally is like, oh, my game of the year, and this is what I'm going to be playing nonstop. I'm probably realistically going to spend a couple weekends with Concord and call it a day. Realistically.
So I think you
I
hit the nail on the head. I think it's because of the space that it's in. There are a whole bunch of these same type of hero shooters. I mean, Valve is making one. Valve is we've heard of the rumors about that, and a lot of them are free to play. And it's hard to number one these we're talking about games that are black hole games, right? People spend a lot of time with them. They're they're made to be grindy. They're made to for you to spend that time to get the investment out of them. And the other thing is Overwatch is damn near loved. Like it's almost it may be slightly under like World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Which is funny because it's also Blizzard. I mean, they have a way with making games that people just gravitate to, and especially with Overwatch, it just like people love that game so much. I haven't spent a whole lot of time with it. I've played it. I think it's fun. But the thing, and I think Concord looks cool, but it's hard to ask. And I think you also hit another great point. It's hard to ask for people to, all right, I want your money. I want $40 for this game, but you could only play it with people on PC and PlayStation. I think either one or two things have to happen. Either they have to make it multi-plat, or they're gonna have to make it free to play.
Yeah.
And kind of just eat it. Because otherwise it's too much against it. It's too much competition, and it's just gonna be hard to break in that space.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot to ask.
Yeah.
Especially in these day and times, money is, everything is so expensive. Inflation is going crazy, and the first place that people start to spend less money is entertainment. Especially if they can get a game that's similar, maybe not the same, for free. And maybe they'll buy some microtransactions. I don't know like who at Sony saw it, and maybe they thought, hey, our pedigree, we can we make great shooters, we have Destiny, we have Bungie with us. I think it was a gross miscalculation not to at least do one of the two things of either have it free to play or have it on everything that you can get it on.
I think I absolutely agree with that, and I think the other thing that was touched on is like the PvP versus PvE. So people are used to PvE and paying for it and paying for battle passes because of things like Destiny, like that.
Right.
Like people are really used to buying the next expansion for more of PvE content, because at the very least, you like you could always access that content. But with a PvP game, if you can't get into a match
Right.
because no one's playing it, then you've spent $40, and like who are you playing with? Like bots. But also because it was so hyped up, because it was this new studio under PlayStation with the pedigree of the devs, and that was so highlighted. It's like this is, and I forget the name of the lead developer of the studio that's making Concord under PlayStation. I'll look up really quick. But it was like no one was really expecting anything from Helldivers 2. Like it came out of
It's an
absolutely
anomaly, isn't it?
nowhere.
Like it just
Yeah, I think I got Helldivers 1 for
Firewalk
free
Studios.
on Steam. Yeah, Firewalk Studios.
And they're pretty new to the
and
game, I'm
like
pretty sure.
yeah, this
Yeah.
is their first game after being formed.
well, that's
Um,
that's a
and
massive undertaking.
Yeah.
It's
but-
kind of unfair. It's kind of
Yeah.
unfair.
Yeah.
And again,
who
from what I
is the
played,
very famous
and it's just a beta, I'm like, this is
developer?
a solid multiplayer. It's really good experience.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels premium. Like if I'm gonna spend $40 on this, I feel satisfied. That's
Yeah.
what she said.
But then
Yeah.
to make it satisfying, you need other people to spend that money too.
Yep. True.
So you
Yeah.
can
Very true.
like otherwise.
Oh,
yeah,
it's not. Sorry, it wasn't Concord that I was thinking of, but Firewalk is pretty much made up of
Yep.
a lot of people who made like Call of Duty, Destiny, Halo, like Bungie devs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
It shows.
but because it's like essentially but because it's essentially their first game, I think people, and the way that they did the trailers as well,
Yeah.
even though it had been said that it was going to be like almost like an arena shooter, the way that they did the trailers, and it's like really focusing in on the characters and stuff
Yeah.
like that, people weren't expecting this to be a hero shooter.
Yeah.
They were expecting like, and I don't know if it's because Sony have kind of boxed themselves in a little bit of like, we do story-based games and it's not necessarily stuff like that. A lot of people, when they did it at the showcase, were like, oh wait, all that story build up, all that CGI trailer for an Overwatch clone. Like
And I think people who are there for Overwatch don't care about a story. They're gonna skip a cutscene. It takes, and again, like I said, when we get into this discussion, it's gonna refer a lot back to that episode me and Fraser talked about, where we talked about people who play Destiny. They get hard into the core, like the
You got a
the
feeling
lore,
for that
the
character,
lore.
don't you?
Yes,
lore.
you got a
Yeah.
feeling for it. You fell in love with it because of the gameplay and what it is, and then it just kept running and running, and you kept getting deeper and deeper into its story, its characters, and what they mean. And to introduce a game that is such simply an arena shooter, and to try to push this deep narrative, I don't know. It's going to be rough. They're going to be fighting an uphill battle right from the get-go.
Because like, you know,
I'm not sure how I feel about like a logging in every week to a PvP to get an episode of story about characters.
That is one of my
never
number one
develop
things that
in
I'm
missions.
curious about. Yep.
yeah.
Like, how long
and
are
I
they?
also think,
What are they showing us?
how does that? Yeah, is it a cutscene? Like, it's not going to be a mission, right?
If
so
it's simply
you
a
log in
cutscene,
once a week to see a cutscene about these characters, because how do they do a mission when it's PvP only?
Exactly.
And
It's
then,
Yeah.
I mean, how does it go into things like esports when there is no sort of battle pass? Like, there is no meta, really.
Yeah.
Because Overwatch, Valorant, these sort of things are kept alive by the community, but also because of the massive amount of like players that tune in to watch them as an esport. I'm never going to play Valorant. I can't see for shit. Like I feel like I'm not going to be good at these sorts of games.
Yeah.
But like watching people who are really, really good at PvP hero shooters can be a really fun time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
if all the progression is tied into story-based cutscenes, there's no meta progression. I don't know if there's no meta progression. That's like just thinking about how the fact they're not doing battle passes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How's the meta progression going to work? It's
Right.
completely different from any sort of PvP shooter we've ever seen.
Yeah.
But yeah, like how does that then break into things like esports? How does that break into the competitive scene, which is something that fundamentally keeps PvP shooters alive, unless you're Team Fortress, and then in that case it's because of hats. But are they gonna do hats? Like, do we know? Has anyone said anything
I'm
about
gonna
hats?
say no.
Like,
I'm gonna say there's not
like,
gonna be hats.
Nah,
I
no
feel
hat.
like Sony's not letting people
Fantastic.
sell hats to each other or sell cosmetics to each other unless they're getting a hefty fucking cut on those hats.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
And I noticed I have absolutely cut you off, Fraser, like 4 times there, but I was trying to make my point. So.
No. I was just gonna say, like, for me personally, a great PvE is something that's always been tied to a good PvE. So, like, and then playing that PvP part of it, like I'm connected to why I'm doing this PvP.
Mm-hmm.
like a Halo, for instance.
Yeah, like
Absolutely.
Halo,
Yep.
for instance. Like, we play through the story, we play through the campaign, we get a connection to these characters, and then we all just go together and shoot each other. Call of Duty's kind of the same. The campaigns, whether you like them or not, there's a connection to these characters, and then we go off and we select the character that we like, and then we use them.
Right.
Like this Concord, like, and it was the same with that one that I reviewed a few weeks back, X Defiant.
Right.
It had brilliant
I
shoot.
forgot that existed.
Yeah, right, exactly. I haven't played it since.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The brilliant shooting, the idea of it is really fun and really good, but the fact that I couldn't be these characters, that they never promised us to be these characters, but the fact that I can't be Sam Fisher in a shooter that is done by Ubisoft that says, hey, we're bringing together all these franchises that you love, and then not delivering that, like, I don't want that.
But they did insinuate
Like,
just as much that you would
Yeah.
be doing those things. You
Like,
would be playing as those characters.
We're bringing together Splinter Cell, The Division, like all these fantastic, like Far Cry. We're bringing all of these franchises into one thing,
Right.
and then you can just fight each other. The
Right.
idea of that sounds fucking cool. But the fact that you're just a generic echelon member or a generic NPC out of Far Cry, I've got no connection to this. And I kind of feel like that with Concord. Like, why these like little like cinematics or something, is that going to be enough
Right.
to make me care for these characters, to
Right.
want to play it?
And that's kind of going to be my question for the whole entire thing. And again, the most curious going into the game is, what are these cutscenes? Are they... Because if you're talking 20-minute episodes, who's watching that? Like, who's watching a 20-minute, 30-minute episode per week? That sounds extremely expensive for a game that's getting 1,000, 2,000 players in the beta. So I don't see how you maintain that. Who's going to want to spend 20 minutes watching something when they just turned on their console to play a video game? And then also, how much can you get somebody to care about characters within a 2-minute cutscene? So what's going to be finding that sauce for them? I am really curious to see how that plays out, because if it's going to be exactly what we saw in the beta, I don't know if that's long enough to get me to care, but it also still already feels a little too long.
Overwatch did it.
Huh?
They don't. Overwatch did it.
Did
Somehow
they?
they've. Well, they're
Like
Yeah,
a month
they had
still
a
play
couple.
monthly
it.
thing?
Pe-
Oh, okay.
Oh no, I mean like Overwatch have made people care about their
Oh,
heroes.
yeah.
Like there's no I've never really played Overwatch. I don't think there's a story, but people seem to be connected to these certain characters, whether it's like a cosmetic thing or like they just enjoy the powers. I'm not
Well,
quite sure.
and
but
you know, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that back then, kind of going back to what Commander Buck was saying, was that there wasn't competition for Overwatch back in the day. I mean, people paid
Yeah,
$60 for Overwatch, and look at
Yeah.
how attached they got to those characters because it was a good, solid experience. There was nothing to compare it to. People complained about the loot boxes, but that was about like to the extent of it. I don't think there was
You know,
much
I was
complaints
playing-
outside of it.
I was playing
I think
Destiny,
Overwatch is
the
a-
original Destiny when that came out,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
a lot of like the people that I was playing Destiny with were excited about this Overwatch and
Yeah.
kind of dropped Destiny for Overwatch. So yeah, you're right. There was not a lot around.
Yeah, I think Overwatch is almost like unique in the fact that people care about the characters. Like
Right.
I can name at least like one Overwatch character, despite the fact I've never played it. Like I know who Tracer is in
Right.
Overwatch, but you could put the entire cast of like Apex Legends or Valorant in front of me, and I'd be like, I've never seen these people before in my life. Like I think Overwatch potentially is like sort of captured it before people expected it to be free to play and actually all about the mechanic.
I'm
And
sorry,
made like a big
I gotta
thing
jump.
about this.
Hey, you're good.
I
Yeah.
gotta go think about it.
This
No.
is the longest
But,
episode we've
it
ever
was
recorded.
awesome.
It's been
Yeah.
great.
Oh,
we're,
nice.
gonna, we're gonna have to cut this down. It's
Yeah.
It's great.
No, this is awesome. It was great talking to y'all.
It's great
Nah,
talking
same
to
to
you,
you,
man.
Buck.
Yeah.
It's really good, man.
Thanks for coming.
All right.
Hopefully, we'll see you
It's
next
so
week.
lovely to meet you.
Not a
Thanks.
problem.
See ya.
Oh yeah, I'll be back next week.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
So,
See ya.
Thanks, bro. Ciao. Yeah.
Right.
Like,
So
And we're-
now that Buck's gone, we were just talking about how we're gonna go ahead and talk about Flintlock next week, and then let's see what else. Oh, and Nobody Wants to Die. We're gonna talk about that
Yeah.
next week because have you finished it yet, Fraser?
no.
Okay.
I'm about maybe 2 hours in.
Okay.
I've actually only just solved that first crime,
Okay.
and I am hooked. It's
Good.
so cool. It makes me want to go back and play like LA Noire. Like I just want to go back and play it now. And I've got a whole bunch of
I might have to play this. I loved LA
Oh,
Noire.
please
Yeah.
do
It's-
because
yeah.
I
It's only
would really,
it's the only
love to have a
Rockstar game I've
spoiler
ever
cast about
enjoyed.
this.
hot take.
Yes. I would really love to have a spoiler cast for Nobody Wants to Die. I mean, I'm really bummed that this I didn't vote for this game to be our like game of the month because I would have had so much to say. And I would have loved to have heard about other people's endings, and that's why I really want to do a spoiler cast because
well, there's always
ending
there's,
is
yeah.
intriguing.
Yeah. But yeah, so
No,
and,
I'm
like,
up for playing it, and we can have a spoiler cast about it.
Yeah, I've got a backlog of those like detective kind of things.
Yeah.
That it's made me want to jump into those.
See, now I
Like
gotta
I've
try
got a
Sinking
couple
City.
of the Sinking City, got a couple of Sherlock Holmes titles. I actually think
Same.
there's like some BBC like Agatha Christie fucking bullshit.
Oh, there's a really good there's a really good like Poirot game.
Midsummer Murders.
Oh man, why don't they make a Midsummer Murders game? I'd play the
Yeah.
fuck out of that. Like.
Yeah, same. So would I. But yeah, so
If you're looking for ambiguous detective games, I can only recommend. I can't recommend Paradise Killer enough. It's so
Okay.
good.
Okay.
It's got such a strange vibe, but the whole thing is like you make your own conclusions of it, and I'm not going to say anything more than that.
okay. I've heard
But yeah,
that Disco Elysium's really good as well.
Yeah, that is another
Disco
one.
Elysium, one of the best games ever
Yeah.
made.
I haven't played it. It's on the list.
But if you want a pure detective game, I wouldn't necessarily put Disco Elysium fully in that because it's much more
Okay.
than that. It's
Let's go Arkham Asylum.
it's a weird little guy. Like, it's one of the best written video games of all time, and
Yeah.
like, yeah,
That's
I
so
would
good.
recommend it.
Yeah,
Alright.
like
Yeah, well,
this
It's
game.
on the list.
Imagine Batman Arkham Asylum, the detective like taking apart a crime scene and like recreating it like
Yeah.
virtually,
Mm.
Oh, I love
and
that.
that's basically this game is just focused on that, and it does it really
Yeah.
well.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So I take it we're all going to be playing Shadows of Doubt when it comes out of early access, because
I have
that's
no
like
idea what that is.
very similar.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
Okay,
man,
well,
if you
now I'm gonna
that
have to try it
sounds
out.
very
Yeah.
similar. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You
Okay.
play on Steam.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So, but next week we're going to talk about Flintlock,
Flintlock. Nobody wants to die.
and nobody wants to die, and we're going to give you the rundown on how you can catch up and watch the first Gamer Social Club Command and Conquer tournament.
Yeah. And I've got
yeah.
I've got so much to say about Metal Gear Solid as well. I'm
Oh,
fucking
yeah. Well-
deep into that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy because we've recorded for 2.5 hours, officially our longest podcast ever, and we've just got so much to talk about. I have absolutely loved coming here every weekend to talk with you guys, and I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to next week already.
It's really
so.
nice to just get to know you guys. That's
Yeah.
what I'm loving.
Same.
It's like
Yeah,
like
great.
actually making some new friends.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. So
Absolutely.
We just need to pick somewhere we can all meet up.
cool. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Somewhere warm, but not
Hope-
too warm for V because she'll
hopefully-
melt.
yeah, not too much. Please not too much.
Hopefully at Summer Games Fest 2025.
Ooh, that'd be
Whoop,
sick.
whoop, whoop,
Yeah.
whoop.
All right, thank you all for listening,
right.
and we look forward to rowing with you, the listener and watcher, and continuing growing a relationship
Yeah.
with you guys as well. And please do not forget to hit all those 5-star ratings, like, subscribes, all that stuff, and give us your feedback, what you want to see come from us, what you would like to see different, and or if you want to just give us a pat on the back, say, hey bud, doing a great job, I would appreciate it. All right.
Yeah, definitely. And also,
I think
if
you're doing a great job.
if you're interested in joining the social club part of Gamer Social Club, we'll put the Discord in the link.
Yep.
Okay.
What's the game this month? It's Outcast.
Outcast 2.
We're
Yeah.
playing through Outcast.
Yeah.
And next week we haven't decided next month, I don't think. But I think
No, I think we should put what were you talking about? Nobody
nobody wants to die. And I think Mad Max
Yeah.
was also in the running as well. That Mad
Oh,
Max
I
game,
hope
which is
so,
fucking
because hearing Jeff talk
Yeah.
about it on Indus, it sounds
Indus,
great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
We're
is.
so bad at shutting off this podcast. We're so
Yeah.
bad at it.
All right, bye.
All right, bye guys.